Welcome to the Audible Sports Podcast. My name is Casey, and as always, I am joined by Daniel, Steven, and Tony down here. We had a wild weekend of football, guys. It was pretty crazy. We had a wild college football Saturday, and we had a wild NFL Sunday. How are you guys feeling about how your teams did? All of our teams went 1-1-1, guys, this weekend.
I want to cry.
Yeah.
Tony, your Steelers with the upset over the Bengals. You called it, didn't
called
you?
It? Who
did.
called it?
You called it. You
Damn
did.
right, I did.
Yeah, that was a good job there, buddy. But how do you guys feel about your Cowboys the rest of the year here with Dak?
That's fine.
Steven thinks we'll be just fine.
We'll be fine. We have a good defense.
I have a lot to say, honestly.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll do that in the week 1 recap.
Yeah.
I'll go off and
cry.
I'll have some fun with that.
But first, we are going to start with college football Saturday. We all got a couple games here we want to talk about, and I'll go over like the top 15, which really these rankings don't matter until the college football playoff rankings come out. I don't even know why they have these rankings anymore. But we'll start with the game that had college game day there, Alabama and Texas. Alabama was I believe, 22-point favorite in that game. They didn't play like 22-point favorites the entire game. After the first quarter, it was 10-3. Second quarter, it was 10-10. They were tied going into halftime. Third quarter, Texas took the lead, and then the fourth quarter, they kind of went back and forth. Texas hit a field goal with about a minute left, and then the play of the game was Bryce Young escaping a tackle to get down the field, put Alabama in field goal range, and they put it away. But 20-19, they win, and it was a wild, wild game. Didn't you guys watch that game?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
All of it.
I wasn't actually able to watch it, but I was keeping up with it with the score on my phone, and as soon as I saw that Bama had the ball again with a minute and a half, I knew it was over. It's like giving Tom Brady the ball with a minute and a half in college football. It
wasn't over, though. Texas had them 3rd and 10, like at midfield, and Bryce Young made this move to get out of this dude was going to destroy him, and he like bent forward, and the guy went over him, and he ran for the first down, which was an insane move, but I guess that's why he's the Heisman Trophy winner from a year ago. But other games that happened, any games you guys got on the docket that you watched?
Oh, so I want to talk. That was a safety. That should have been a safety.
Yeah, that should have been a safety with Alabama and Texas. Bryce Young was down. They said he threw it, and then they called targeting, which was weird.
Targeting.
And then they're like, you know what?
Targeting penalty.
We can't do that. So you know what?
It should have been intentional grounding at that point, and then a safety.
Good old Alabama Nick Saban.
Yeah, usually how that goes. What games did you guys watch this weekend?
I watched that one. I watched a little bit of Notre Dame Marshall, and then I went to go drink, and then I watched UTEP and MSU.
UTEP actually got the win, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Go Miners.
Yeah.
I-10 stays here.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah.
The 2 trophies stay here.
Well, in El Paso.
Tony, did you watch any football this weekend?
I did. I actually tuned in not only to the Miners Aggies game, but I also watched a pretty close game between 15-23, Pittsburgh and Tennessee. A lot closer than expected. It seems like Tennessee decided to show back up in the second quarter. They went 7-10 in the first, 17. They outscored Pittsburgh 17-7 in the second. Then they drew it in the third, 0-0. Went into overtime, which is crazy, just to end it with a final score of 34-27. Final touchdown in the end. Tennessee taking it, obviously, but much closer than expected.
That game was in Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I remember. I saw they were. I don't even know what the field's called anymore. I'm still gonna call it Heinz Field because that's what it should be called. But whatever. What's your field called, Tony?
Acrisure after the bank.
Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure Stadium.
That sucks.
That's stupid.
It does. It does not roll off the tongue no more. It will forever be Heinz Field.
It's always been Heinz Field since I could remember.
It should be still Heinz Field.
Yeah.
It still is.
But we had a couple upsets this weekend. As Steven said, he was tuning into the Marshall Notre Dame game. Halftime of that game, I believe it was 9-7 Marshall. In the first quarter, nothing really happened. Marshall stunned everybody. I mean, everybody thought Notre Dame was going to come back. Third quarter, Marshall gets a field goal. Notre Dame doesn't score. Fourth quarter, Notre Dame scores a touchdown on the first play, a 1-yard touchdown run. They take the lead 15-12. Then Marshall, about 10 minutes later, scores a touchdown of their own, going up 19-15. And then the play of the game in that game, Notre Dame got the ball back. They were down, and Stephon Gilmore's brother of the Colts, pick 6 into the end zone, puts it away for Marshall. Notre Dame got a garbage touchdown at the end, missed the onside kick, but the final was 26-21. Marshall took it. The Sun Belt had a good weekend this weekend because Appalachian State also took out Texas A&M. They went into Kyle Field and basically dominated the game. App State went up 7-0 in the second quarter. A&M tied it. They were 7-7 at the half, and then App State scored another touchdown in the third. A&M leveled them in the third, and then App State got a field goal to go up 17-14. Then A&M had a chance to tie it with about 2 minutes left, and nobody blocked it, but that kick did not go anywhere. I don't know if you guys saw that kick, but it just sputtered and then landed in front of the end zone, essentially. But I thought somebody blocked it initially, and then when you relook at it, nobody touched it. Then
Is that the same kicker from last year?
I don't know.
He just boofed it, huh?
Yeah, he just boofed it. He boofed it to the 1 yard line, essentially. But App State got a 46-yard run at the end, put it away, knelt the ball down. A&M tried to take their timeouts, didn't work out. A&M got booed off the field. Love to see it. A&M loses. App State again with another upset. We all know the historic upset they had over our Wolverines years ago, but that team is really good.
That's crazy. I think I hate A&M the most out of all the Texas teams here.
You know, A&M, the reason why they're hateable here, especially here in the Dallas area, is because they're basically a cult. they go to school, they're obsessed over the ring that they get from there, and then it's crazy. They all think they're the best thing ever, but they haven't won anything in years. So there you go. Shot at A&M fans.
Yeah. Did you see the video of their midnight yell?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had to look up where this school was, and
So apparently,
go ahead.
A&M is doing their best to take that video down anywhere they find it, on Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. It's deleted constantly.
Everybody says to go to an A&M midnight yell before you die, but every time I see videos of it, it makes me not want to go to a midnight yell ever. Like,
no idea what
they're so midnight yell. They basically get together the night before any game and they teach the stadium the chants, but like half of their stadium fills up.
It's literally like 30,000 people.
I don't know if you've seen those guys in like those overalls that like stand at the bottom and they're like this the whole game, but
they're the yell leaders.
Yeah, they're yell leaders, and they basically give out like pep talks. It's like a pep rally, but they show you how to do everything, and they're kind of not nice about all the teams. Like they're very. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look on A&M. I'm sure you can find the video somewhere, Daniel, if you want to check it out. But they're pretty terrible. But
the guy was like talking like they don't even know how to read the names on the back of their shirts. I was like, okay, they just came in and beat your guys' ass. So.
Yeah, yep. Well, he didn't know that the night before, but
I know that.
But I'll go over like the top 15 here. Number 15, Tennessee squeaks into the top 15 after beating Pittsburgh. Utah's at number 14. Utah was a top 5 team last week before they got beat by Florida. Miami is at number 13. BYU after their win over Baylor to number 12. Yep. Our rival Michigan State, number 11. Ooh. Boo. Arkansas into the top 10. They're number 10. Kentucky with their big win over Florida, number 9. Number 8, Oklahoma State. I forgot who they played, but I think that was they played Arizona State. I think they beat them. USC into number 7. Oklahoma's number 6. Clemson number 5. Michigan number 4. Go blue.
Go blue.
Ohio State number 3. Boo.
Fuck 'em.
Alabama is number 2 now. They drop 1 spot after almost losing to Texas, and Georgia reclaims the number 1 spot. I think Texas jumped into the top 25 as well.
They're 21.
They're number 21.
Yep,
so yeah, they jumped in after that loss, but they still jumped in because of how they played.
The hot mic from Nick Saban at the end of the game when all the Alabama parents,
all the Alabama thing,
they were doing this, and Alabama was like, "Don't do that shit," and he just on live camera. It was great.
That's really funny.
Good.
I was like, they barely won against a backup quarterback that was limping the entire game.
And you needed your kicker at the end to put it away. So
I saw that doing the horns down is an unsportsmanlike conduct now.
It is during a game, which is really weird. I mean, especially if you're an OU, if I played for OU and I scored a touchdown, I'm going in the end zone. I'm going like this, like I'm doing it. Like I don't care. Penalize my team on the kickoff. Who cares?
Got some chatter in the in the comments.
Isaac's got his top 5 MVP picks
God.
already for the NFL.
Micah
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons at 5 different positions.
Micah Parsons linebacker, Micah Parsons quarterback, Micah Parsons safety, Micah Parsons wide receiver, Micah Parsons lineman. Ethan, what's up, Ethan? He said USC with the natty this year. I don't know about that. USC's got a good squad though, but
USC hasn't been prominent in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been like,
relevant was the word I was looking for.
It's been like 15 years since they've really done anything, but
good for them.
They've got a good team this year. They really do.
Yeah,
USC
they got Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, you remember Lincoln Riley left OU to go to USC.
And they took their quarterback too.
Yep, they most certainly did. I like the way Michigan looks this year, though. Michigan destroyed Hawaii, and they had their third and fourth stringers in the third quarter. So
they scored 55 points in that game, and they went a quarter without scoring.
Yeah, crazy.
To be fair, Hawaii is terrible.
Well, yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah, but hey, give them credit though. They traveled round trip. I think they traveled 9,000 miles to go play at the Big House, which is insane. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, let's move on to our fantasy recap for week number 1.
Ethan, we'll get to the Broncos struggles in the red zone later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, Ethan. Because
and they struggled.
Yeah, that was not a good look for the Broncos yesterday.
Very bad. It was
hey,
terrible to watch.
Geno Smith though, that guy looks good. We were talking crap about them all offseason. I'm sorry, Seahawk fans. Well, I'll say I'm sorry for that because I did not think you guys had a chance against the Broncos.
Because it's not Drew Lock playing.
Yeah,
it's true.
And we all forget this is the NFL and anything can happen. Look at Colts tied the Texans. So
anyone can beat anybody in any given week. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. I gotta do something with that.
You definitely do. All right, we're gonna switch over to the fantasy standings board. We're actually gonna go. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Let's go to here. So this is our league here. We're gonna go over our scores. I got the win in week 1, 101-73 over the better Eder, which is Doug's daughter. This is Samantha. Sorry, Samantha. But Kirk Cousins went off for me. Scored 2 pass touchdowns, 277 pass yards. I was a big advocate for Kirk Cousins in the preseason, but there is my score here. Let's go over to Daniel's team. Daniel, what happened?
Oof.
My team didn't play very bad. Devontae Smith laid a fucking goose egg.
Yeah, actually, you would have beat me had we played.
I would have beat more than half the league if we played each other.
Yeah, we just have
Isaac just has half the Chiefs team.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Look, Isaac had 147 points. This is not a PPR league, by the way. This is a standard league, which 147 points is way abnormal.
Yeah.
Isaac, if you're still watching, you're going to live and die by the Chiefs because you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire had 2 receptions and a touchdown. So that kind of added more to his points there. He does have Justin Tucker. But the rest of his team went off too. I mean, he had a good, solid outing with all the players that he had.
There's no beating anyone that's going to score that many points.
Mahomes scored almost a 50 burger on you. So, there you go.
Derrick Henry didn't do well. I don't think either of my running backs did very well. AJ Dillon did decent, but Devontae Smith laid the goose egg. Everybody else performed pretty well though. Gabe Davis showed out a little bit, and
Gabe Davis scored the first touchdown of the year.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert did Justin Herbert. So
really upset you snagged Gabe Davis from me in the draft.
Yeah, eat shit.
The same round. All right, let's move on to Sharif and my brother. My brother's name is Steeler Virginity. Haha. Then we have Sharif. Shane auto drafted his team, and he had the second most points in week 1. So Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson. I was gonna take Justin Jefferson, and he snagged him with auto draft right before I could get him, which I hate because I think he would have taken a running back because I was gonna take Justin Jefferson. But
Jefferson,
he's wild.
He's gonna be the best wide receiver in the league this year.
I said it in the preseason. I like Justin
Jefferson. That new offense.
Hey, here's the thing: if Matthew Stafford can throw to somebody other than Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson might not be it, but if he keeps throwing to Cooper Kupp 18 targets and 15 receptions every game, Cooper Kupp's probably going to lead the league again. But let's go on to the next one.
I mean, removing what the fuck's his name? Damn, I blanked out.
Yeah, wow, way to go.
What are you trying to? You said removing?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Rams?
Yeah. There we go. Receivers? Removing Odell Beckham. Removing Odell Beckham kind of left them fucked with, hey, I'm going to pass it to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not his fault, isn't he?
Well, Stafford could have thrown it to other people, too. He had other options. He would just throw it to... He had Allen Robinson and had 2 targets, which is wild. Allen Robinson came over there to play.
That's funny because Casey has Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I know.
That's
That's why I
why-
picked him
that's
on
why
my
he's
fantasy
mad.
team. I thought he was gonna go off.
Salty.
Had to be the matchup of the week right here, guys. You have Edward against Doug. 58 to
God.
How do you
52.
win a game with 58 fucking points?
That's surviving right there.
That's bullshit.
That is a surviving play. Look at these terrible. Look, Aaron Rodgers 3 points, Matt Stafford 9 points. This is this was all of Doug's points, and I think Doug had like a projection to be like over 120
It shows
after.
him right there.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Original projection 100 and 107.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And good old Aaron Rodgers, game 1.
Dawson Knox had 1 reception. Kyle Pitts didn't do anything. Cam Akers was on my sit 'em list this week, guys. Nailed that. I mean, both
I
these
wish
teams
someone
are.
would have called. I wish
I mean-
someone would have called Pitts.
Edwards' kicker outscored the rest of his team. He had 10 points. So there we go. There.
Actually, their kickers were their best matchup of the week.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Doug
14 to
had
10.
14 and 10 points. God bless.
Doug's team just didn't show up at all. Like, look, he has
Except for Stephon Diggs.
a grand total of like 3 points there. That's wild. And not even 3 points. 2.40. Let's
Jesus.
scroll on down here. Here we go, Tony. You took out John. John
Yeah,
had
I
some
did.
gloating, not really gloating to do at the Texans game, but when they were up 20 to 3, he was like, "What's happening?" Like, it was great. But
Look at that projection was supposed to be for that game. For
by
that matchup.
0.1 by a yard.
0.1.
That's a yard.
No, it's less than a yard. It's a tenth of a yard.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is
Well,
crazy.
that's just a projection, but whatever.
Yeah. But Lamar Jackson went off for you, Tony. Tony, what did you think of your matchup here?
You know, I wish my receivers would have done more. Juju didn't get targeted by the annihilation of the Chiefs as much as he should have. But
He did have
still
a
gave me solid
he
points.
did have 79 receiving yards, but he did fumble the ball, it looks like.
He did. That's
So-
what hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamar also should have had
Excuse me.
more, but he had a few hiccups. My backs were pretty decent. So that's the first. I picked up Waller this year, and you guys judged me because I didn't get Pitts over him, and I just tell you why. I just learned why.
Yeah,
I
Tony.
like Darren Waller over Kyle Pitts for sure.
I do too. Well, I do now after seeing him the first week because we didn't have him right there too. But you actually forgot Darren Waller existed, right, Daniel? Didn't you not
Yeah,
have
I
him
completely
in your
forgot he
rankings?
existed. He should have been way up in that list. I just
Yeah,
blanked
you just
hard.
blanked out on him. Let me see. Well, Tony, you survived. Your team is also going to live and die by the Steelers, it looks like, because you got Deontay Johnson. Well, actually, Juju Smith-Schuster doesn't play for the Steelers anymore. So, but
Nope.
when I look, did you switch some players out? Because you had 7 Steeler players on your roster.
He has a
I haven't switched anyone.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think you have
I
some on your
picked the-
bench.
Yeah, well, I had the Steelers defense, and I thought that the Jets would have a lot harder time with the Ravens defense
So did
than
I.
the fucking Bengals did with the Steelers defense, and that shut me up.
Hey, your Steelers defense won you that game, by the way. Sacked
They
Joe Burrow
fucked
7 times.
We were
Yeah.
at
They-
the game, and we could see the score, and we were like, "Oh man!" We checked on the Steelers defense. We were like, "Ooh, who has them?" And then we had
Like,
saw you had
Tony.
them benched.
They're on the bench.
We're like, "Oh."
That's why you don't take 2 defenses, people. You got to make a
they
decision.
sat nice and pretty.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes
but I mean-
two defenses pays off. I picked up Philly's defense because I had
Well, you
Dallas
had to
initially,
pick them because you had no choice. You had to do it and you
Yep.
did it the day of the
Hey.
game. We'll move on to the last matchup. Steven, your very first fantasy matchup. Wasn't too
Did he
terrible.
win?
No.
No.
Andrew
'Cause-
edged him out. Andrew won because he has Josh Allen. So
Oh,
Josh
yeah,
Allen
get
scored all the
Allen.
points there. So Andrew 102 to 85 over Steven. So
Josh Allen had almost 40 points, no?
yeah, he also has Amon-Ra
Yeah.
St. Brown, Jerry Jeudy. He also has Jonathan Taylor. So I think he took Josh Allen in the second round, Jonathan Taylor in the first round, and then
It's okay.
took
My,
DJ Moore in
my
the third
running
round.
back, my running back outscored Jonathan Taylor, so I'm good.
Yeah, but you still lost. So, but
I know.
hey,
It's 'cause
Saquon
Tom
Barkley,
Brady
though?
and
good pick, Steven. I mean, that guy, he basically won the game for
he
the
did.
Giants. So, and thank you, Giants, for taking out the Tennessee Titans. Colts
Damn,
and
Saquon had
Texans tied.
27 points.
So we are first place with a tie in the AFC South, which is crazy.
I actually had pretty good matchups. It's just that Dak couldn't throw at all. So CeeDee Lamb suffered, and Tom Brady struggled a little bit too. So
Here are-
other than that,
Yeah.
I should have won.
Here are our current standings. So the points do matter, though, Steven, because as you can
Yeah.
see, you have more points than some of the people than that that won, like Edward.
Yeah,
So
like Edward.
if you win next week and Edward loses, you're going to jump up and Edward's going to go way down. But in first place, we have McCaffrey antivirus, which is Isaac. Isaac in the chat says, my team is different.
Your team is the Chiefs, buddy.
We'll see, man. We'll see. You're going to live and die by the Chiefs. Remember last year, you started like 4-5-0, and you were talking crap, and you didn't do so good the rest of the season.
15 more weeks.
Yep. We got a long way to go. My brother Shane, Steeler Virginity in the second with 122 points with the win. Tony in third, 117 points. Tony's team went off too.
You know, if I would have put in the fucking Steelers defense, I would be ahead of your brother.
Yeah, you'd be in second. You'd have about 130 something points. Andrew in fourth, me in fifth, Edward in sixth with all the wins. Daniel starts
this is some bullshit. Look at that.
Yeah, look, Daniel has scored a bunch of them.
The fucking
Daniel, you should be in fourth place
this week.
Hey, sometimes
fourth fucking place.
Sometimes it goes with the matchup though, but it's okay. I mean, nobody's gonna go undefeated. I've never been in a league where somebody goes undefeated. Usually, when people go undefeated, they're in a league with people that don't know what they're doing. So,
what am I playing this week?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Rounding out the bottom, look who it is.
Good old Doug.
Stud
this wasn't as bad as last week.
Last year. By the way, in our league, guys,
off the bottom.
For those that don't know, in our league, it's been about 7 years that's been going on. It's $100 buy-in. Winner gets $800 and a trophy. We made a trophy with plaques on it. Nobody's won this league twice, so I'm one of the winners. Daniel's been one of the winners. Doug at the bottom has been one of the winners. But it is game 1 of the season. This will jockey as the season goes on. But that's why we play the games, guys.
As Edward says, this first week is always caca, so.
Yeah, it usually is.
It's true. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in week 1 of the NFL, which is it's just so competitive, and it's the NFL. So,
yeah. All right. Let's switch on over off of fantasy for right now. Let's go to the NFL recap of week 1. We can start talking about y'all's Cowboys if you want to. Daniel, I know you got a lot to say.
Honestly,
yeah, let's start with that so that you can fizzle out and be okay and talk the rest of the teams.
Give you guys whatever you need to say first, because I'm gonna go off.
Tony, we'll start with you.
Well, previous week, you guys that we did the matchups, I picked the Bucks to win. So that's where I'm going to keep it. I mean,
yeah, Tony's the only person that got the Bucks right there, I think, because I think all the rest of us picked the Cowboys. Tony, what was your record last week? Do you know?
I don't. I actually got a lot of them wrong because of all the upsets.
Figure it out before the game predictions in week 2, and we'll talk about our records and all that. But Cowboys, tough break. Only team to not score a touchdown in week 1. The Buccaneers did only score 1 touchdown, though, so the Dallas defense isn't terrible. It's the Dallas offense couldn't move the ball, though, so it's either the Buccaneers defense is really, really good this year, or Dallas offense is not what everybody said that they were going to be. I said it in the preseason. I said don't be surprised if this Dallas team is not what everybody thinks they're going to be. Just because they have a star on their helmet doesn't make them a great football team. So week 1 didn't look good. Dak, was it Wirfs that hit his hand?
He got hit twice.
Well, no, what broke his thumb, I think it was Tristan Wirfs. He was throwing and his thumb went back, and he's out 6 to 8 weeks, not coming back till the end of November, beginning of December. He could come back for the Colts Cowboys game, December 4th.
They updated it to 4 to 6 weeks now.
Oh, 4 to 6 weeks? Okay,
he could be back as early as week 6, I think, or as early as week 5, but they're aiming more toward week 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
That's a tough break for the Cowboys, who will have Cooper Rush under center starting next week. I don't think Cooper Rush is a terrible quarterback. I think he's good.
No, he beat the Vikings last year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I think he's going to step in and he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
If the offense can get more than 1 first down in a quarter, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because that defense just needs to rest.
Yeah. Steven, what are your thoughts before Daniel goes off?
I was going to say the Cowboys offense aside, defensively they were pretty solid. They just were on the field the majority of the game, so of course naturally they're going to give up points, especially against Tom Brady. Even though Tom Brady really didn't dice them up that much, but they just couldn't stop that run up the middle, which is what the Cowboys were hoping they could do, because that was their front four was supposed to be their best part of the defense. But when you're on the field for 35 minutes of a game, you're gonna get
It was
tired.
probably more than that.
Yeah, and you
Probably.
could see them getting worn out. They were doing very well stopping the run with Fournette. Towards the back end, that's when Fournette got me most of my points on fantasy because he just kept running through them.
Yeah.
It was just they just got worn
Yeah.
out, man. He
And
broke them down.
yeah,
He's
and
a freight
then
train.
they had a good red zone defense. They the 4 straight field goal attempts in the first
Yeah.
half
Mhm.
for or it was 5 because they missed one. But I mean, you can't when that offense just can't do anything. I mean, it's going to be tough. And now that Dak's hurt, it's just going to be even rougher probably. But the good news is Zeke looked like he was back in form. They just didn't use him as much as they wanted to probably. I think they used Tony Pollard wrong again. As Tony Pollard had a terrible fantasy week.
Yep.
But it's going to be on the quarterback now. We're going to see how Cooper Rush and Will Greer do for the rest.
Oh, I forgot you guys have Will Greer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
4
worst
to 6
part.
weeks.
The
worst part of that-
released Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, Danucci.
He might still be on the practice squad actually, but
He
I
is
think
on the
he's on
practice
the
squad
practice
He's
squad.
not
because
on the
I
roster
saw
for
it
sure.
today that he is. My least favorite thing about that game is that it was a Sunday night game because it was kind of boring to watch.
it was
Oh,
very
yeah.
boring to watch.
It's all
I'm a
defense.
Cowboys fan, and I stopped watching in the third quarter.
We were driving back from
was
Houston, and we were like, I was not paying attention to halfway because it'd be
Mm-mm.
like, all right, 3 and out,
Yep.
and then field goal for the
It was
Buccaneers.
3 and out, and then let the Bucks storm down the field, and then stop them in field goal range for them to kick a field goal. That was it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Daniel, you have the floor.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys covered a good amount of everything that I wanted to say. Not everything, but most of what I wanted to say. Steven, you covered the defensive line. I think the defensive line was the best part of that game. They held Leonard Fournette really well throughout the first half into the third quarter for sure. Going into the fourth, they started falling apart, of course, because they were gassed beyond belief. You're never going to win any games like that if your defense is on the field. You can't score. So there's that. The biggest thing that I want to talk about, the defense played well. I had no problem with how they played. They held the Bucks to a decent amount of points in the NFL with the Bucks having
19.
a high caliber offense, quote unquote. You know, they're decent. But I don't think the Bucks defense is as good as the Cowboys made them look either. The fucking play calling from Kellen Moore is the bane of that team's existence. It's so fucking terrible. It's so bad.
It's predictable. That's why.
It's so predictable, and Kellen Moore likes to do these weird things where he's like trying to get tricky with shit.
You're trying to think he's
And
still
you
at
could
Boise
see it
State.
coming with with double fucking reverses and then trying to like throw it or something. And then it's the NFL, dude. There's fucking 330-pound defensive linemen on the other side of the ball that run 4.5 40s. Come on. They don't run that fast, but it's fast. You can't do that shit in the NFL. It works 1% of the time, unless you're Philly in the Super Bowl. But
Unless you're Houston doing a flea flicker.
yeah. But I don't understand. Like, Mike McCarthy is also a very intelligent offensive coach. I don't understand why Kellen Moore is still with the team coaching or coordinating their offense. He doesn't know how to use Tony Pollard, like fucking Steven said earlier. I almost called you Tony. And it's just stupid. Like why in the world are you going to run cross routes when you have CeeDee Lamb, one of the fastest players in the league, on the outside? That's all they did was run routes across the middle of the field against a Tampa Bay zone defense, and it just smothered them. It was awful. Play calling was so bad. They couldn't get anything going. Zeke looked good. And the rookie offensive lineman and the one that subbed in, they held up.
Yeah, I was about
They
to. I
looked
forgot
really
to say
good.
that.
Mhm.
They did. It was actually the right side of the line that kept getting Dak.
The biggest, that was the biggest problem for me this week was the play calling. And then obviously, Dak broke his fucking thumb again. And hopefully the team doesn't fall apart like they did in, what was it, 2018 or 19?
2 years
Whenever
ago.
it was. And that was, I cried when Dak broke his leg like that. That was awful.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, that's what I got.
so there were a couple teams that were busts and a couple teams that surprised a lot of people. My biggest surprise team from last weekend were the Giants. Nobody had the Giants doing what they did.
Yeah.
To have the balls to go for 2 to win the game right there. and they get it. And they should have had Saquon Barkley down to rights right there, and he got into the end zone. So
it's a big ball play.
That is
I was watching that. They had like four guys in that window to tackle him, and they all just.
There were a ton of them. I thought there was like 3 to 4, maybe 5. But they should have had him, and he got into the end zone. And he let them know that he got in the end zone. So that was great.
Yep.
They won 21-20. What a good game.
Thank you for the 27 points.
Yeah. Thank you, Giants, for beating the Titans. So we are still in first place on a tie.
Dude,
so
the Titans laid a goose egg that game. It was a bad game for the Titans.
Yeah, they missed the field goal at the end.
Good.
Bad game for the Titans. Good game for the Giants. Derrick Henry shit the bed, and it was upsetting. But
any
teams?
Who else
shit the bed?
Who?
Okay. Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah. Any other teams
he didn't break his leg though? So
yeah, he
that's
didn't
a win.
break his leg.
Yeah. Any other teams that surprised you guys this weekend?
Yeah,
The
Houston
Bears.
Texans.
The fucking Bears. Are you kidding
The
me?
fucking Bears, bro.
Yeah, the Bears.
Trey Lance, man. Trey Lance.
Trey
They
Lance.
still have Jimmy G.
Yep.
Trey Lance is not going to be starting
You don't
halfway
think so?
through the season. I don't think so. If he performs the way he did in that game, well, they ran the ball a lot. It was raining a lot. So, I mean, you can cut him a little bit of slack, but I don't know.
You don't think he'll feel a little bit like Baker Mayfield when the Browns were like, no, we're moving on? And that's basically what the 49ers have said. We're moving on to Trey Lance. And
We'll see.
yeah, but the
We'll
Bears
see this week. I mean, who are the Niners playing this week?
they are playing the Seahawks.
Which
Yes.
could also the Seahawks are looking
and
good
they're
too.
playing at
Yeah,
home.
the Seahawks are looking good. That's another surprise team that nobody
I
had
think
winning that game.
This will be Trey Lance's test because he'll be able to actually throw the ball. He's not going to be in a fucking monster.
A
Rainstorm,
slip and
yeah.
slide.
Freaking. By the way, when the Bears won, they were sliding on the field. That was funny as hell.
It was pretty cool.
Just sliding through the field.
Good for Justin
Can you
Fields,
believe
good
they-
for the Bears?
They specifically put new grass in because of all the injuries, and then that grass ended up flooding.
Yep, that's crazy. Did you guys see the guy eating popcorn in the crowd? Like just
Oh,
water
man.
falling on him. He's
Yep.
just like
San Francisco guy.
that was
He
crazy.
was just like,
Yeah, I think he was a 49ers fan too. So poor
mhm.
guy.
Yeah, it was.
Another
At least it
surprising
wasn't
team.
sewage water.
Yeah, another surprising team. The Houston Texans. Holy crap! For 3 quarters, the Colts forgot how to play football. Well, to learn how to play football, the first 3 quarters of the game. We're down 20-3 in the 4th quarter, and we come back and tie it. And we should have won the game. Rodrigo Blankenship missed the field goal to win it in overtime.
He's no longer with the team.
He got released this morning. Yes, he did. So I don't know who's gonna be kicking for us this weekend, but it's not Rodrigo
Good old-
Blankenship. I wish him luck, but sorry, buddy.
Good old Greg the Leg. Greg Maher. Greg
Greg
Zerline.
Maher.
Greg
the
Zerline. He's
hybrid.
with he's with
Greg
somebody
Zuerlein.
else, isn't he?
Yeah, Greg Zerline got signed.
Yeah, he's with like
Oh, he did?
yeah, he's with somebody. I don't know who he's kicking.
I don't
for, but-
know specifically who, but I know he's signed to somewhere. Let me find
Let's see.
out. But yeah, I mean, Houston showed up to that game, and Indianapolis did not.
He kicks for the
Oh,
Jets.
he's with the Jets.
You think that Indianapolis would have showed up after losing to the Jaguars in the last game of the season?
Hey,
to
they
miss
showed up in the
playoffs,
4th
you know?
quarter. I mean, hey, I will say this for the whole game: Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, dogs. Those guys. The whole
Michael
game
Pittman
were,
put up
were
a lot of fantasy
great.
points.
Here's something else that happened. Matt Ryan he wasn't perfect, but he wasn't terrible at all. Like he didn't do anything. He threw an interception, but that was just a really good read by the Houston defense. Like he was going to throw a screen, and the dude, the guy defending, just ran right past Jonathan Taylor and grabbed the ball. So that was a good catch there by him. But we also dropped a couple touchdown passes. We had Alec Pierce drop a touchdown pass, the rookie from Cincinnati, in the end zone, had it in his hands and was going to drop down and dropped it. And then, by the way, Alec Pierce got nailed. Right, Steven? You remember that play? He caught the ball, was about to catch the ball, and he got drilled on the field and got right back up. So, like, nothing happened. Then we had Doolin, one of our deep threats. He was catching the ball deep and didn't catch it. He dropped it, too. So we need to not drop passes. So that was kind of the thing there. Matt Ryan threw the ball 50 times on Sunday. So
I don't think you need to throw it that many times. But the
Especially when you have
situation
Jonathan
was
Taylor in your backfield.
Jonathan Taylor did score a touchdown. So yeah, but it was a weird
It was a
game.
fun game.
I will say weird.
We did not get a hot dog.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
you guys
We
didn't get any great hot dogs?
No, we didn't have
they
time.
were-
We didn't have time because
they
we visited Savannah, one of our friends in Houston. We kind of talked with her for like an hour.
Oh, you
So
were
I
telling
want
me about that.
to do everything in the pregame, and we
was-
couldn't do it. And my mom's just like,
There was
"Hey."
actually people at the Houston game, so that's
Yeah.
probably the reason why.
The whole bottom bowl was full. So it wasn't full up top though, but
Good for Houston.
yeah, good for Houston. They were
Get
good.
some life back into that team
Yeah.
and organization because God knows they need it.
If they win this weekend in Denver, they will definitely have a lot of fans at their next home game. So
yeah, they will.
we'll see there. Also the Lions. I know the Eagles were up. They were up big in that game. I don't remember what the score was.
I think it was 38-21 at one point.
Yeah, because I was
Or
at we were,
35-21 or
we
something
were
like
at
that.
the Houston Colts game when that happened. But the Lions putting up 35 points. The Philadelphia
Eagles.
defense, poo sounds
Hey,
like.
they looked great at halftime, and then they just like gave up. I think what happened with Philly is they got really complacent. They got their big lead, and they were like, "All right, well, fuck these guys. We just demolished them." And then the Lions were like, we're not that bad." And then they started coming back, and then Philly was like, "Oh shit, we got to keep going."
Yeah, most definitely.
That happens a lot in the NFL, and it's not a good thing.
It looks like what happened is their run game started kicking in, and they just got beat. They didn't get beat, but they started giving up runs.
They almost got
Because I
beat.
noticed both running backs for Detroit. I don't know their names right now, but they both had some good points in fantasy combined. So I think
Swift and Jamal Williams.
Swift.
yeah.
I have Swift. And then here's the other thing. I picked up Swift in the second round of our draft. He did good. They're using Jamal Williams as the goal line back, though. He scored 2 touchdowns. So I'm kind of upset about that because I should have had way more points, but I still won my matchup, so we're good.
I think I have.
That's kind of a
Williams.
hard thing in the NFL now too. Is there's a lot of teams running 2-back.
Yeah, I have
offenses.
Williams, and I benched
You
him
see,
last week.
you see Green Bay, you see Dallas, you see the Lions. It's very
The
prominent
Browns.
now
Yeah.
having that two man back, 2 running backfield combo.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. Because I can't words apparently.
Can't speak.
Jesus.
Oh, hey, you're like me, usually. Words.
Yeah.
Also, underwhelming teams. The Green Bay Packers.
Ooh,
Scored only 7 points. Vikings beat them 23-7, I believe was the final score. But I told everybody this Vikings team is somebody to be looking out for. But this
Yeah.
Packers team did not look good offensively. I do know that Aaron Rodgers threw a bomb to Christian Watson and he dropped it.
And
He had a
he dropped
touchdown.
it.
That was a touchdown if he caught that. But it went
The
right through his hands.
speed,
Yeah.
The speed that the memes for Devontae Adams came on Twitter there were insane. Like 10 seconds after Devontae Adams wanted to drop this pass, and then it's like pictures of Aaron Rodgers like crying in a corner with holding like a Devontae Adams.
Here's the other thing to
So-
remember, though.
Ugh.
Last year, remember the Packers and the Saints had to play in Jacksonville because of some reason. I forgot what the reason was.
It was a hurricane, I think.
Yeah,
the
there was a
hurricane.
hurricane.
Yeah,
in
that's
New
right.
Orleans.
But the Saints beat the Packers like 41-3 in that game. Like it was not a
It
good
was
game
bad.
for the
It was
Packers.
worse.
So it was worse than this score, but I think the Packers will be competitive throughout the season. They just need to figure things out. I think that's what happened to the Colts in the first 3 quarters of their game. They had to figure things out. And once they did, they caught up. So also Chargers Raiders. Chargers won 24-19. That was a pretty good game to see. I watched the highlights of, but the Chargers are victorious over the Raiders 24-19. All the Raider fans that came at me in my predictions video, haha. So
Hey, the Raiders are still going to be a good team, man.
yeah,
don't count the
be
Raiders
good.
out.
They'll be good, but I was getting like
That'll get
threats, man.
started.
Like, oh, you're stupid. Like, that's why I don't watch your channel because you don't know football. Sure
Yeah,
do.
there's a lot of those
You do
comments
Raiders.
coming in.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. You just learn to
haters
ignore 'em.
everywhere.
How about some underwhelming teams? The Cardinals getting blown out at home by the Chiefs. The Chiefs are that team this year. The Chiefs 44-21. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They're better
picked-
without Tyron.
Yeah.
Tyron
They
Hill.
don't even need Tyreek Hill. They don't need Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill. But Chiefs blew them out at home. The other underwhelming team for me was the Rams, but I told everybody I think the Bills are just angry. Bills blew them out 31-10 in their
That's-
home stadium. So
That second half, Josh
Rams
Allen
didn't
just
look
went
good
off.
though. Rams looked bad, and the Bills looked fucking
Phenomenal.
terrifying.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good old Mr. Jalen Ramsey toast.
But it ain't how you start the season; it's how you finish.
That is true.
So,
point
We'll
taken
see.
about the Packer game last year.
yeah.
Last game I want to go over, Monday Night Football. We had the Seahawks and the Broncos. Russell Wilson back in his first game as a Bronco in Seattle, which is pretty crazy. But the Seahawks eke out a win, 17-16. Geno Smith looked really good in that game. That touchdown to
Hey.
Will Dissly when he looked like he was going to run for it, and then he just popped it over everybody.
Yeah.
Dissly just runs it in. That was an amazing play.
Geno Smith is one of those quarterbacks that got counted out way too early, and he should have been a starter in the NFL.
He's
a
just been on
long
bad
time ago.
teams.
Well, he was with the Jets for a long time. That's why.
Well, this was also his first start since 2014 when he got
with
drafted.
the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's been a backup for a while, but he's finally getting his time, and he might be a quarterback to look out for, especially if you need a quarterback in fantasy later in the season. He might be one to pick up. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Geno Smith.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but that's kind of like a little week 1 recap there. How we feel about our teams. It's where everybody is. I mean, it's too early to really go over rankings and stuff because it's only been one game. So we'll save that for another week, but we'll move on to Boomer Bust players. Daniel has a list of some players that I believe you're going to ask us Boomer Bust, but this is more Daniel's segment here. So Daniel, take it away.
Bingo! It's the first time we've done this. Casey always runs these segments, so it'll be good to get him off the platform because he's a shithead.
Yep, sure am.
All right, so
that's why we would play the games.
Yeah. The way this is going to work, those of you that are unfamiliar with Boomer Bust, basically I'm going to go over, I have 7 players here. I'm going to name the player. I'm going to give their stats for week 1. And then you guys are going to tell me boom or bust coming into week 2. I will give you their matchup as well. Okay?
Got it.
Cool.
You want us to go in a circle?
Yeah. We'll go Casey, Tony, and then Steven.
So a triangle.
Well, it's the other way.
I'm kidding.
I don't know. All right, ready? So first player, boom or bust. AJ Brown. Philadelphia is going into Minnesota this week. Wait, no.
Yes, they are. No, they're playing. Minnesota's going to them. Minnesota's going to them.
Yeah, Minnesota's going into Philly this week. Week 1, AJ Brown had 13 targets. He had 10 receptions for 155 yards with no touchdowns. Going into week 2, AJ Brown, boom or bust?
I'm going to say he's going to boom. I think he goes in there. He's the guy in Philly. So, I mean, him and Jalen Hurts are the guys to watch out for, especially in fantasy. But he's going to get his target still. I don't think Minnesota has that great of a pass defense. Their defense is pretty good, but I don't think it's that great. They're going to score some points. I think he gets in the end zone.
Perfect. Tony, thoughts? Boom or bust?
Gonna be a boom. Like I've been saying it since we started. Him and Jalen are just getting back to what they were doing in college. He's gonna be a big target once again. You could see Jalen Hurts is getting a little bit more comfortable on the offense. He still has some work to do, but he's gonna be targeting Brown a lot. And to say something, I think if they could contain Justin Jeffrey, which is gonna be very fucking hard, they could pull out a win.
Perfect. Steven, you want to round us out here on Boomer Bust with AJ Brown?
I'm going boom just because I'm a little biased because I have him on my fantasy team. He did go off last week. I wish he would have scored a touchdown, but Philadelphia did well without him scoring a touchdown. But I think Minnesota did not face the talent that Philly has on wide receiver last week. So I think there'll be some wrinkles in the cracks or in that defense, but I still think he's going to have a very well game. Hopefully he'll score a touchdown and be a good player, be another top 5 receiver this week.
So we're all going boom, it looks like.
Yeah, we got 3 booms for the first player this week. AJ Brown did really good in week 1. It's surprising that he didn't have a touchdown considering the Eagles scored 38 points in that game. But he did have 155 yards and he was targeted a bunch. So I do like him booming in week 2 as well there. Perfect. Next player we have, let's switch up positions here. That's what she said. Let's go.
Purple.
Stop.
Let's go with Derrick Henry. He had a terrible week 1 outing in New York. Tennessee is playing Buffalo this week. Let's go.
Wait your turn, Casey.
He had 21 carries in week 1. So he still got his workload in, but he only had 82 yards. He had no receptions and 1 target. So, Casey, we'll start with you again. Boomer bust, Derrick Henry, week 2.
So I can segue into this too. So Derrick Henry is playing the Bills this week. The Bills shut down the Rams run defense or the run offense last week. Jesus. The Bills shut down the Rams running last week. I actually have Derrick Henry on my sit-em list this week. I think he's going to bust. I don't think he's going to score as many. He might score a touchdown. They might get in the red zone. They might put him in right there and he gets in the end zone. But I don't think he's going to get all the yards that he usually does. I have him as a bust.
All right, okay. Tony, let's move on to you. Boomer bust for Derrick Henry in week 2.
I think week 1 running backs just had it rough overall. I'm gonna give him a boom. I know that they are facing the Bills, but I think he just had an off week. He is a fucking beast, and we've seen him do grown man fucking dirty left and right. So I think he's gonna. I think he just had an off week. He's gonna come back with some aggression, and I think the Titans are gonna rely on him to do whatever little they're gonna do against the Bills. Overall, I'm not gonna give him a win, but I think he's gonna be the key to them even scoring next week.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. I'm going to stay out of this with the votes. That way we have like tiebreakers. So we'll take you guys as 3 votes. I'll still give my like take on it, but we'll do you guys' votes. That way we have tiebreakers in the 3-man. Steven, what do you got on Derrick Henry going into week 2 against Buffalo?
Yeah, so the Bills defense is just another story by itself, but Derrick Henry is also a story by himself usually. It's basically a rock against a removable object. But I still think he's gonna bust this week. I agree with Casey. I don't think he'll have much to do this week other than maybe punch in a 2-yard or 1-yard goal line situation and get some free points right there. But I have him busting this week just because the Bills are just on a different level this year.
The Bills are out for blood.
Yeah, they look terrifying.
They were the best looking team week 1 besides maybe the Chiefs.
Nah, the Chiefs played the Cardinals. The Bills played the Rams. The Bills were the best team week 1. They outright stomped on the Rams and just.
If the Bills aren't number 1 in everybody's power rankings after week 1, they shouldn't be ranking teams.
They shouldn't be giving power.
Like pretty much, they destroyed the defending Super Bowl champions at home. So
it wasn't pretty either.
Yep.
I'm going to give my take real quick on Derrick Henry this week. I have him on my fantasy team. He shit the bed week 1. I'm very worried about week 2
against the Giants.
Against the Giants. That's like what Tony said, though. I mean, he probably just had an off week. Week 1 in the NFL is always everybody getting their feet wet. Nobody really plays preseason games anymore, at least as far as starters go. I think that's where most of the teams figure out their rosters going into the regular season now. So week 1's always a mess for most teams, just cleaning up everything and getting everything settled. I still like Derrick Henry this week. He's a monster. We're going to go bust just based off, Casey and Steven there. Honestly, if I had to pick, I'm going to pick a boom just because he's on my fantasy team and I want him to do well.
So you're on Steven's level there.
He's like teetering like in the middle of boom and bust.
That's the thing. That's why I picked Derrick Henry this week.
Here's the thing about Henry. Henry can go off for like 90 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game, and then there's other games where he has like 30 yards and maybe a touchdown or something like that, or like the Giants shut him down last week. So we'll see what happens. But I think Derrick Henry is a great running back, but all the teams know who he is, and they're going to shut him down. They're going to try.
And the problem is Tennessee's offense is based off Derrick Henry, especially now that they don't have AJ Brown and Julio Jones.
That is true.
That's why I picked Derrick Henry this week, because it's like on one hand he's a beast, on the other hand they're playing the fucking Bills. So
and on my toes, he's on my fantasy team. So
yeah. All right, cool. So we got bust for Derrick Henry going into week 2. Let me write this down actually, so we have it saved. So
by the way, if you want some stats here in standard format for fantasy, Derrick Henry is running back 26 after week 1.
So we're booming AJ Brown, busting Derrick Henry. Let's go. Let's switch up the positions one more time. Giggity again. Let's go. Let's go here. Jameis Winston going into week 2.
Famous Jameis.
Famous Jameis. Hey, that's a W, baby. That was a close W against Atlanta. That was a pretty close game.
Good old classic Atlanta choking.
So
yeah.
Jameis, week 1, completed 23 of 34 passes for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times, though. And those four sacks were a loss of 35 yards.
Yep.
So there's some stats for you guys. Who are they playing this week?
He had no interceptions as well. He had a 67.6 completion percentage and a rating of 111.
They're playing the Bucs.
It's pretty good.
They're playing the Buccaneers.
They are playing Tampa Bay this week, though. So we'll see how real their defense is.
After
KC,
after week 1, Jameis is QB7 in standard format fantasy too. So that's actually kind of a surprising stat. Jameis Winston's a really good quarterback. People forget that.
Yep.
But here's the other thing. I'll give you some more stats. 7 of the last 8 meetings between the Buccaneers and the Saints. The Saints have won 7 of the last 8. The only win that the Buccaneers have with Tom Brady is in the playoffs when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that being said, I'm rolling with the Bucs in this game. I know they're playing in New Orleans, but Jameis Winston might struggle a little bit against this Bucs defense, as we saw on Dak do on Sunday. I think the Saints have a little better offense than the Cowboys, though. So I don't necessarily want to say boom, but I don't think he's gonna bust either.
You got to pick one.
It's like Derrick Henry. He's like right there.
That's what they're
not playing the game.
I'll say boom. Boom then.
Boom.
Daniel's picking the right people.
Yeah, you are picking the right people for these.
Yeah.
That's a really hard choice there. I don't think he's gonna have a terrible game though, but I'm gonna say boom for the sake of the segment.
Perfect. Tony, what do you got? He's thinking hard about it.
Teetering. I am. God damn it. I'm gonna create some more attention. That's what I'm here to do. I'm just gonna create tension for all these.
Do it.
I'm gonna go bust. I am gonna fucking bust.
Tony's gonna go ahead and fucking bust.
I'm about to bust.
I'm about
to bust.
What are your thoughts behind that bust?
I just think that coming off of the first week, I think the Bucs defense will be able to contain him. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's a lot better than people take him for. But at the end of the day, he's still Winston. He's gonna find a way to just fuck it up. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give
week 1.
He also played the Falcons.
It's the NFL, baby.
Falcons almost won that game.
No.
Saints won that on a field goal.
Fair. Nah, I'm gonna give it to the Bucs defense, especially because I have Mixon. I'm gonna hope that they keep taking the ball and just running it as they did in their first week.
True. All right, so we got one for boom, one for bust. Steven, that means you are the tiebreaker this week for Jameis Winston. What do you got?
Going to be a tiebreaker.
Before we go on,
as Tony said, I'm always going to be the tiebreaker now because it's going to create tension. Jameis Winston. Last year he didn't do too bad against the Bucs. The Bucs have done terrible against the Saints lately. Which
Division
means
rivalries.
That's what I just said.
Which means that he might be able to be on that field a little bit more, especially if we get to find out how good Tampa Bay's defense actually is. But I think I'm gonna have him booming this week. Like Casey said, he was quarterback number 7 this week. He had 25 points on the standard format. He did pretty good, even though it was the Falcons. But who knows? The Falcons could just be really good or have a good defense. We never know. We'll find out more this week. I have him booming. I just saw that only 46% of people have him rostered, so he might be a good pickup this week if you need quarterback.
Yeah, I also have Jameis Winston on my bench. So,
you playing him against the Bucs this week?
No, I have Justin Herbert as my starter, so absolutely
not. That's the play there.
Flexing.
If you have Jameis Winston as your starting quarterback, good for you. I think he's going to do really well this season. That's just my personal opinion. Usually it's wrong, so I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to pick a lot of on the fence players to make this more difficult for you guys because these are tough decisions.
How it should be, though.
Like how interesting it gets. This week, I'm not sold on Tampa Bay's defense. Dallas's offense played god awful in week 1, and Tampa Bay's defense still has to prove it to me that they're that competitive still. They've been pretty decent in past years. They've won a Super Bowl in the past couple of years, so that defense wins championships. You have Tom Brady on the front side of the ball. Like, if your defense can hold up, they're going to win. So, but coming into this season, they did lose a lot of key players, and I'm gonna take Jameis Winston to boom this week. You guys have him booming anyway, so we'll go with that. Perfect. We are through 3, so let's speed it up just a tiny bit. I got 4 more for you guys.
We got plenty of time.
Let's go back to Philadelphia and Minnesota. I have Mr. Dalvin Cook this week. Week 1, he had 20 carries for 90 yards. And he was 3 for 5 receiving for 18 yards. I don't believe he recorded any touchdowns. Again, Minnesota's going into Philly. And Philly's got a pretty good run defense. So, Casey, we'll start back with you, and we'll just keep the cycle going. Dalvin Cook going into week 2.
Yeah, like you said, he carried the ball 20 times for 90 yards and caught 3 passes for 18 yards and did not score a touchdown. So that is correct. In week 1, he is running back 19 after week 1. And they're playing in Philly, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say boom because I really like this Minnesota offense. So I know that they're going to throw the ball a little more, which they did in week 1, and it worked to their advantage. But Philly's run defense, not that great. They let the Lions put 35 on them.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, the Lions' backup running back, scored 2 touchdowns. So it's a huge boom for me. Dalvin Cook's going to go off this week. I think he's going to have a massive week for fantasy. So, boom.
Perfect. Tony, what do you got on Dalvin Cook going into week 2?
Fucking Tony.
I love it.
It's his
he always
look.
has that like pondering thought on his face, like, fuck, which way do I go with this?
Well, because the Eagles have Casey, you give the Eagles run defense too little credit. They could hold up their own. Like we said, they got comfortable with the lead and they just let shit go by until they had to be like. You're just mad because you're a Cowboys fan.
No, not at all.
But their run defense is good. They held down the Lions until they started playing around, and then they're like, oh shit, we got to play. So I think their run defense is going to be good until they realize that their secondaries are trash, and they're going to have to find a way to take care of Justin Jefferson. So they're going to open up the field. So I'm going to give them a boom based off that because they're going to be trying to cover the receivers in order to compensate for that secondary. Meaning that he's gonna have a lot of playing room. So I'm gonna give him a boom.
Yeah, I like that take a lot, actually. Like you said with Philly, I really do think that they got complacent. I think Philly's defense is better than people are thinking, letting the Lions score 35 on them. I also think the Lions are better than I was anticipating going into this season.
I've been telling you.
So there's that.
Philly,
Steven. Sorry, go ahead.
Philly
Casey,
did give up 181 rush yards this week to the Lions, though.
How many of those were in the second half?
Oh, I don't know. Just says 181.
That's a weird, obscure stat to look up, but it's probably higher
that is.
half.
You have to go to ESPN for that, dude. Like, I have no idea. ESPN's over those stats.
Yeah, that's a little bit more advanced.
Yeah. But anyway, Steven, we'll move on to you. Dalvin Cook going into Philly in week 2. What do you got?
So, as Tony said, Minnesota's offense is a lot better this year. Oh, sorry, kept distracting me. Is a lot better this year. Passing game especially. Kirk Cousins is always a good quarterback. With the passing game opening up, it will open up that running game a lot as the linebackers and the safeties start to back off, trying to contain Justin Jefferson especially. It will open up the field for Dalvin Cook to start running especially. I guess we'll find out how good the Philly defense actually is this year or this week, especially that run defense. We'll test that front 7 and see how good they are. But I have him booming. He should do well. He probably will get a couple of touchdowns this week, especially if they're near the goal line, kind of like Derrick Henry, but I have him booming.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we got 3 for boom on Dalvin Cook this week. Personally, I'm on the fence about him, honestly. I'm going to say bust just for the sake of saying bust. I think Philly's defense is better than people are giving them credit for after that game, like I just said. And I think they're going to they'll game plan for Justin Jefferson for sure because that guy is just insane. He's ridiculous. And Kirk Cousins knows how to find him now. But I don't know. I can see them running a lot of blitzes too and trying to get a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins and kind of like throwing that out the window. I don't know. I think Philly might be able to hold them up pretty well in Philly too. So that crowd is pretty electric and they get pretty loud there. So we'll see how
I'll
that
also
goes.
say I'll jump in and just go with you and Steven's logic for the last couple players. Dalvin Cook's on my fantasy team. He's booming.
Yeah, very well could. That's why we play the games.
That's why we play the games.
All right, next player on the docket, as Casey likes to say. Let's go for. Yeah, this will be a good one. Let's go for Mr. Devontae Adams. Las Vegas Raiders, week 1. Had a pretty good outing. He was 10 for 17, had 141 yards and a touchdown. So did pretty well week 1. They are playing the Cardinals this week in Las Vegas. I like Devontae Adams going into this week again. He should show out just as much as he did week 1. So, Casey, I'll go ahead and pass the torch to you here. Boom or bust on Devontae Adams.
So Devontae Adams had 20.1 fantasy points in standard format this week. He was wide receiver 2 this week. Last week they played the Chargers, who I think have a better defense than the Cardinals. I'm going to say boom. I think the Cardinals might get spanked again.
Yeah.
Sweet and simple. I like it. Tony, what do you got? Devontae
Big
Adams,
boom.
week 2.
That one was a big boom.
Big boom.
A nuclear boom.
we all saw that. Well, we all predicted that the Cardinals were not going to be too great, especially with a loss of D-Hop. Their offense wasn't going to do much, but that defense just got annihilated by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Raiders in my opinion, the Raiders are a better team than the Cardinals are this year, especially with him as an addition and him being prime target. Man, if it's not going to him, it's usually going to Waller. So I see him booming.
Here's the other
Who
thing.
was
The
who
Cardinals.
was the wide receiver 1, Casey, that week?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, 30 points.
Oh, you're saying he was wide receiver 2 overall?
Yes.
Overall.
Fantasy last week.
In the league. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Also, the Cardinals defense ranked 32nd in the league right now.
Yeah.
Pick him up. Pick him up. That's a boom.
Yeah, pick up the Cardinals.
Pick him up.
Yeah, they gave up
Isaac, pick up the
170. Actually, sorry, they gave up 360 pass yards to the Chiefs last week.
That's just pass yards too.
That's just pass yards.
I think they were over 150 probably.
Their rush defense was definitely better. They gave up 128, but that's still not good.
28.
But that's a lot of yards put on this Cardinals team. So yeah, boom them out.
All right. So 2 for boom so far. Steven, Devontae Adams, boom or bust.
I have to agree with everybody. He's gonna be a big boom. He had 10 receptions, 17 targets, and 141 yards and a touchdown. Like you said, that's a lot against a good defense. Now imagine him going against a subpar defense like the Cardinals did, especially with them giving up all of those yards to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now the Raiders probably aren't as potent as the Chiefs, but they are still a really good offense, especially with Devontae Adams on their team now. So yeah, he's probably going to go off. He's probably going to put up Justin Jefferson numbers this week. Let's be honest. So big boom for me.
Yep. This one was pretty easy for you guys. I had this one at the beginning of the list. Probably should have started with it. But Devontae Adams going into week 2, he picked up right where he left off in Green Bay, and it's probably playing better, honestly. He's got a lot of other key players around him that he didn't have as much in Green Bay. So it complements him well, and he's still getting plenty of targets, and he's still making a lot of plays down the field and scoring touchdowns. Going into Arizona after Arizona getting decimated like that against Kansas City, I like Vegas this week. It's in Vegas. Yeah, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly, and a big boom.
It's their
for
home
Devontae Adams.
opener too. So that I mean, after the loss last week, and the Chargers were avenging their loss from last year, but the Raiders they might be about the same score. Who knows?
Honestly, the Cardinals really need to get their act together because
They
first
figure it
game
out
was
quick.
embarrassing.
Quick.
Yeah. In the NFL, you get blown out by that much. It's embarrassing. I don't care what team you are. All right. So moving on to the next player. I have another player actually in the Philadelphia and Minnesota game, believe it or not, just because there's a lot of players that are kind of on the fence. This player is Jalen Hurts. Casey usually rides Jalen Hurts pretty high. He likes him a lot. I don't. Well, mostly because he's an Eagle, but he's a good quarterback. He's just not as good as everybody's thinking. Week 1, Jalen Hurts he went 18 for 32 with 243 passing yards. Had no throwing touchdowns. His completion percentage was only 56%. Not terrible, but not great. He had a quarterback rating of 80.6. He did rush 17 times for 90 yards as well.
With a touchdown.
So that's a big plus in his running game. It also is kind of scary to me. Having said that, Casey, what do you have? Jalen Hurts booming or busting in week 2 against Minnesota?
See, this is why I like Jalen Hurts so much, because especially in our league, rush yards are valuable because we don't run a PPR league here. It's all yards. You have to get yards and scoring. He rushed 17 times for 90 yards, as you just said. So I mean, and he ran in for a touchdown. He had no interceptions either. So I mean, they did play the Lions, but who are they playing in week 2? The Minnesota. That's right. We talked about that. I think this is gonna be one of those games where it's just a shootout both ways. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. High scoring being like 30 something to 20 something, 30 something to 30 something. I think both teams are gonna put points on the board. I have boom for Jalen Hurts this year. I think he'll put up a lot of points. They're at home. It's their home opener. He can rush the ball, and I think he can put up some points. So it's a boom for me.
Okay, we got one boom already. Tony, what do we have? Are your thoughts ready, or do you need a couple seconds to think about it?
No, this one's actually pretty. The other one, the first, you started out with some tough ones, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, those
had
to
me
make you guys
thinking.
think a little bit.
Yeah, we should do this every week though. You gotta bring up some stuff during the week and just think of the players. Well, it's kind of hard because Sunday happens and then you gotta pick them out. But we do this on
Yeah.
Tuesdays. But
Yeah, but I see him booming as well. He's like Casey said, it's going to be a high scoring game. He's going to have to come out there and try and match that. What's the word I'm looking for?
tenacity.
No, not tenacity. He's just got to come out there and try and match that fucking scoring ability that the Vikings have, man.
Mhm.
If he doesn't, then they're going to have a tough loss. So he's going to have to come out there and match Kirk Cousins, and I give him that boom, man.
Another boom for Mr. Jalen Hurts going into week 2.
Boom, 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 boom.
Steven, or the final. I was gonna come up with like a weird word to do that, but you just
Steven, just go.
boom
You
or
fucked it
bust,
up.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. I think he's gonna boom. Like as everyone said, he's basically Lamar Jackson. His only issue is he doesn't complete passes as much as he should. His completion percentage is probably one of the worst for starting quarterbacks. I think 56% he was.
Yeah, it was pretty low in week 1 at 56%.
And that's the inconsistency of him. But if he can be a little bit more consistent, I think he's going to be a boom. We already said boom for AJ Brown. So if AJ Brown doesn't boom, then that's probably because Jalen Hurts isn't booming. So
yeah, that's a pretty big compliment to one another. There are other receivers in Green Bay in Philly that could also boom or bust. But yeah, if Jalen Hurts doesn't boom, then I don't see AJ Brown booming either. I mean,
I will say that Jalen Hurts is QB4 currently in standard formats. He's ahead of Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow.
it's because of those rushing yards.
Yeah. Well, top 4.
That's also
Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Number 4, Jalen Hurts. So
Carson Wentz had a good week 1 too.
yeah, he did.
yeah. That also doesn't help that Gerald got fucking manhandled by a big old schlong.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, man.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is doing good things he did good things in Washington week 1. We'll see how it plays out for the rest of the season.
Apparently, we needed to wait one more year to sign him.
Well,
And he's playing
Those
Detroit
ankles
next
to
week.
be secured.
good old Carson Wentz, man. All right, well, so we have Jalen Hurts booming all the way around. I kind of don't like Jalen Hurts going into week 2.
We know
It's
you
not
don't like
because I'm a
Jalen Hurts.
Cowboys fan. It's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. As far as booming or busting goes, I don't like him this week because the Vikings defense looked electric in week 1 against Green Bay. They shut Green Bay's offense down hard. Crazy. Aaron Rodgers was furious that entire game because he couldn't do anything.
When Watson
And then
dropped
the
that
running
pass,
offense didn't
he
work
just
either.
laughed. He was just like,
Yeah. He laughed at a couple passes because his receiving core is not great, and the running game wasn't there either last week because the Vikings defense is electric.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't throw the ball, I mean, you saw.
Yeah, that goes hand in hand.
And you can't throw the ball, you're gonna have to run it, and that's so
they couldn't do either.
You're gonna have to put Booby in.
Hey,
You want to win,
Zadarius
put Booby
Smith.
in.
Zadarius Smith going to Minnesota and playing Green Bay in week 1, he shut them down.
Yeah, he did.
You heard his name being called every other play. He had a lot to do with that shutdown in Green Bay. Having said that, I don't like Jalen Hurts this week. Booming. I'm going to take a bust. You guys all boomed him. I busted him. So we're going to go boom, obviously, because my pick doesn't matter in this because I'm in charge. So
maybe you'll be right. Who knows? But we'll go.
Yeah.
We can go over it next week.
We'll see. Exactly. That's why we play the games. All right, we got 2 more players to get through. Let's go back to running backs. Christian McCaffrey, week 2, in New York, playing the Giants. Christian McCaffrey in week 1 had 10 carries for only 33 yards. He was 4 for 4 on receptions for 24 yards, and he had 1 touchdown. Not a great outing for Christian McCaffrey in week 1. It's not god awful either. But what do we think, Casey? Boom or bust week 2 against the Giants?
So Christian McCaffrey after week 1, running back 17. So whoever picked him 1 and 2, mad right now. Mad. I think Isaac had him. No? Isaac picked McCaffrey? But anyway.
Maybe.
McCaffrey anti.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's his team name.
My problem with McCaffrey, I don't like ever saying that somebody is injury prone, but this guy can never stay healthy. That's my problem with McCaffrey. Who are they playing again? They're playing
the Giants.
The Giants.
In New York.
The Giants in New York. The Giants just shut down Derrick Henry. I was a stay away from Christian McCaffrey this year in fantasy drafts. I don't like the guy because he can't stay healthy. He's a bust for me this week. They shut down Derrick Henry. They can shut down Christian McCaffrey. Bust.
Yep.
Did he get hurt after week 1?
Christian McCaffrey is still healthy.
No, he did not get hurt.
As far as I'm concerned.
No, he's fine.
Or as far as I know.
Rushing only 10 times, though, that alarms me for him.
Like, literally, his saving grace last week was that 1 touchdown. Otherwise, he would have had 5 points.
Yeah, that's
not
alarming.
terrible for PPR league either because he had 4 receptions, but even then, it's not
good.
Super great.
Not good.
At least not where you draft him in drafts.
Yeah. Tony, what do you have? Boom or bust? Christian McCaffrey week 2 against New York. You think New York's for real?
I think their run defense might be significantly better than it's been. I'm going to give him a bust because I see, like Casey said, he's prone to injuries. This dude, I don't know if he's going to be reliable this year. I think McCaffrey is filling in the not for long statement
NFL
pretty
slogan.
well. I see the Giants just shutting them down this week, especially with what they're trying to do out there in Carolina. They're trying to get the ball into a passing scenario now. So he's kind of just a name out there just to try and get some passes out. So I'm going to give him a bust.
Tony's going to go ahead and bust on Christian McCaffrey as well. Wink. Steven, what do we have on Christian McCaffrey against the Giants in week 2?
I mean, Casey, I think nailed it. I mean, the Giants were able to neutralize Derrick Henry, but the problem is the Titans are so one-dimensional. Like I said, they're going to use Henry a lot. So the Giants could have just game planned just to go get Derrick Henry. The Panthers, I think, are a little bit more balanced. I'm trying to look at their stats to see how much of each they had. Yeah, so the Panthers had 207 passing yards and 54 rushing yards.
Yeah,
which is not good. Which means they probably, I think they'll be able to contain Christian McCaffrey pretty well. They just might be being cautious with him and just making sure he doesn't get hurt to have him for the whole season this year. But
at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to suffer points wise and yardage wise if you do that. But maybe he was getting his sea legs in, and maybe he'll just go off this week. We don't know. But I think he'll bust this week.
Taking a bust as well. We got 3 busting. Cap's in the background chewing something really loud.
Yeah. I was about to say, what is that?
Casey's making some weird faces.
He literally dropped it as soon as I stopped talking.
So we have 3 busts for Christian McCaffrey going into week 2. I'm not convinced that the Giants defense is for real. I think that they 100% game plan for Derrick Henry in week 1, and they nailed it. They executed their game plan. Because what else do you have to defend against Tennessee, honestly? I mean, who else do they have for receivers in Tennessee right now?
Robert Woods. They have Robert Woods.
Yeah, Robert Woods was wide receiver 3 in LA, so
yeah, he's still a good player though.
Yeah, he's decent.
Good wide receiver.
Yeah,
I want to jump to the chat real quick. Josh is in the chat.
What up, Josh?
Oh, good. It looks like I missed the Cowboys wrap up. That's amazing. I'm dead inside.
Yeah, dude, me too. It's okay.
Dude, a week ago we're going to the Super Bowl. What the hell happened?
Dak broke his thumb, and half our offensive line that was already broken collapsed, and Kellen Moore is an idiot. So that's all I gotta say.
Right,
week 1 showed us a lot of what Dallas is not doing in Dallas. So
we'll await Josh's reply, but let's get to your last player.
Yeah, all right. Christian McCaffrey's a bust for this week, all the way around. Last player on the docket, we have Scary Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry.
Washington is playing the Lions, who surprised everyone in week 1. Almost beat out Philadelphia. They are in Detroit this week. Scary Terry only went 2 for 4 in week 1 with 58 yards and a touchdown.
That's
so
not a lot of targets.
Not a lot of targets at all, but production where they did come from. 2 catches for 58 yards is pretty nutty. And scoring a touchdown, I mean, always helps. Going into Detroit now, Carson Wentz apparently had a really good week 2 in week 1, so we'll see what he can do in week 2. Casey, boomer bust on Scary Terry.
Who else is in Washington receiver-wise that we have over here? Scary Terry should be their number 1.
Yeah, he's definitely number 1.
Curtis Samuel.
I think Curtis Samuel had
Jahan Dotson.
Oh, Jahan Dotson. That's actually one of my waiver wire pickups this week that I have on a list on our TikTok page. But the Lions defense, they gave up 239 pass yards to the Eagles last week. They gave up 216 rush yards to the Eagles last week. The Lions ranking in defense 31 out of 32. Only the Cardinals were worse last week. So, in terms of the way he played last week, he was targeted 4 times, only caught 2 passes, you said, for 58 yards?
58 yards.
Yeah, so that's not very good for him, but I think he can bounce back. He is their number 1 receiver, and they're playing the Lions, who gave up a ton of yards last week to the Eagles. I'm going to say boom for Scary Terry.
Booming for Scary Terry from Casey. I like the thought process behind that. Very logical, makes a lot of sense. Tony, what do we have for Scary Terry, boom or bust?
I am agreeing with Casey. He's going to be a boom. Like you said, they give up a ton of yards over the air. He's in target number 1. I know that Carson likes to spread the ball out as much as possible, but getting that many points off of 2 receptions, 58 yards, that's pretty impressive. So I see him doing even better with this defense that they're coming up against.
Yeah, per catch basis, that's what, 24 yards a catch?
24,
25 yards.
Yeah. He probably had a long catch.
I think he had a 46-yard reception at one point. But yeah. Steven, I'll round it off with you for our last boomer bust in Scary Terry versus Detroit. What do you got?
Yeah, I think he's going to boom. I mean, as Casey said, he should be the number 1. So, I mean, and that Detroit defense just gave up a bunch of yards. And actually, Carson Wentz might be a good pickup this week if you don't have a quarterback. I mean,
might be a good start.
Nobody has him in our league right now. So that's a little scary, especially with him going off last week against who did they play last week? The
Jaguars.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, who aren't? I guess we'll see how good the Jaguars are next week, huh, Casey?
Yeah, we really will, won't we? We'll see how good the Colts are too. So, but here's the other thing that people fail to realize with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz with Scary Terry, that's the best quarterback Terry McLaurin's ever had, ever. Like all the other quarterbacks that played for Washington don't even compare to Carson Wentz. Everybody shits on Carson Wentz, but that guy can play some football when it matters.
Alex Smith wasn't bad.
He's still better than Alex Smith.
Alex Smith was on the back end
Before or
of
after
his
the leg.
Yeah, and I don't think
that's the thing.
Did Alex Smith
Alex
throw
Smith
to
was
Scary
a-
Terry?
I don't know that he was still there.
I don't think he
honestly.
was.
I think he
No.
had retired already.
Who was the quarterback last year besides Heineke?
Heineke was their quarterback.
Wasn't Fitzpatrick on their team too?
Yeah, but he got
right?
hurt.
That was the year
No.
before.
Yeah,
That's
it was
when
the dude
every-
from Del Valle.
Yeah, well, he never
Montes?
He never
He
played.
didn't play.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Heineke was the guy last year.
They made
Yeah.
the playoffs 2 years ago with 3 injured quarterbacks, and that's when Taylor Heineke got to play. Taylor Heineke got hurt in that game. Steven Montez was supposed to go in. I remember because I was at work. I remember this day very clearly.
Yeah.
I have
And
a
they
buddy
didn't.
who played in high school with Monty, so shout out him. But yeah, Carson Wentz is the best quarterback the Scary Terry has ever had. Hands down. I agree with that.
Saying something.
Carson Wentz isn't
To
that
wrap
bad.
it up,
He's not.
He was really good with Philly. I mean, he took them to the playoffs the year they won the Super Bowl. He got hurt, and
He
Nick
just got
Foles
hurt.
cleaned that up and just whipped out his whammer and said, "This is my year." So,
Yeah.
but
Casey might get to see that this year.
Carson Wentz has new ankles, so
Yeah.
We'll see, we'll see
fully
how good they are.
reconstructed ankles.
yeah. I'm gonna round it off real quick with Scary Terry. I think that he's gonna boom really big this week. 4 targets is not enough for him. He's a crazy good receiver, and he's got the name Scary Terry for a reason.
Might be the least amount of targets he gets
so-
all year.
Yeah, I think he'll get at least 15 targets this week, if not more.
15? That's a lot of targets. I don't know about 15, but he'll get more than 4.
Yeah, damn, I don't know.
Adams
Yeah,
had
15,
17
yeah,
in
damn.
week 1. AJ Brown had 13. I could see it happening. He's gonna have a lot of targets this week, and if he doesn't, then Carson Wentz is dumb because
Who's the
Detroit
running back
doesn't have
for
anybody to
Washington?
really combat that. So I like Scary Terry to boom this week. And yeah, that will wrap up our first boom or bust.
Love it. Those are some good picks, Daniel. Good picks for that.
You're-
We should do this every week and then
Very
go
nice.
over our previous week just to see.
Yeah.
But also, I've got an idea for this. I'm gonna cut this down and put it on the drive after this, and you can make this into a TikTok.
I was like, where are you going? But
Not going anywhere.
Casey's leaving, guys.
Yeah, I'm leaving. All right, see you later. Josh, give credit to Wentz, man. That man would die if it gained 3 inches. What?
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 They're taught. No, never mind. First of all, Josh, that is not how you spell Wentz last name. It's Wentz.
He knows that he's doing it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
He's calling him Carson Wentz.
Oh, because he's always hurt.
Yeah.
Wincing in pain.
Yes.
I get it. Okay.
If it gained 3
Bad
inches.
joke, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
We can boo him. It's okay. We know him.
Boo this man.
The man would die if it came 3 inches.
Oh my
God
gosh.
bless. Okay, Casey, back to you. Where the hell are we in the show?
Let's move
We're
on
doing-
to the last segment in our show, which is game predictions for week 2. Tony, did you go over your week 1 game predictions and see what your record was?
I did not.
Oof. In week 1, I went 9-6-1 with the Colts tie. Daniel, what was your record?
I did not do well in week 1 because it was week 1 of the NFL and I picked a lot of bad picks, honestly. But that's fine.
Hey, but you got a lot of views on TikTok because of it.
Yeah, Daniel got like 160K views on TikTok, and they
Hell
destroyed him in the comments.
Oh yeah, I got bullied pretty hard.
Reamed.
It's all right though. We're here for the content. That's all that matters. Anyway,
Yeah, it's all right. But that's
I went 6-9-1. We're counting the tie with the Colts because that happens in the NFL. It's really stupid that it does, but it does.
not a
So,
win or a loss, but tie.
It's so dumb. Just
So
let
weird to
them
be at a
play it
tie
out.
game, by the way, guys. That was something.
Like, if you get a chance, go watch the TikTok of our game experience there because we didn't record us going out of the stadium, but Casey nailed it. Like, the whole stadium experience leaving was just weird because nobody won, so nobody was trash talking.
Nobody was making fun of anybody. Everyone was just like,
Okay.
yeah, we tied.
So it was just like dead quiet going everywhere. It was weird.
Josh said that joke went straight over your head. Shake my head.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, say a better joke and
Better
maybe it
jokes,
won't go
Josh.
around.
Come on, Josh. Come on. All right, let's move on.
I got mine.
Oh, he got his
11-4
record.
and 1.
You went 11-4-1.
Yes, because of your fucking Colts.
Way to go, Colts! Yes, actually, you know it's Rodrigo Blankenship's fault, but you can never blame him again for the Colts because he's gone. So, bye, Hot Rod. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah.
So who's your kicker now?
I don't know. We just signed McLaughlin and some other dude that I don't know his name to the practice squad.
Picked 'em
So
off the street. There was a little kid kicking outside to pick them up.
one of them will not be on the team on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. Steven, you don't know your record?
I was trying to look it up while I was going, but I can figure it out
11,
real
4,
quick.
and 1.
Keep looking for it. We'll come back to you in a little bit and we'll get it.
Yeah, just don't interrupt us.
Casey hates being interrupted.
I just hate editing it later because I got to edit it out.
That's true. It's
All
a
right.
live podcast, though. It's going to happen. So
Yeah. All right. Game predictions for week 2. Like I said, I went 9-6-1. Daniel went 6-9-1. And Tony went 11-4-1. Tony is leading this year so far, guys. We're pending Steven's record here.
I'm pretty sure he's beating me because I picked a lot of teams that lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven and I's predictions are pretty similar. So,
But as always, we will start with the Thursday night football game. We have the Chargers at the Chiefs. The Chargers go into Arrowhead after beating the Raiders. The Chiefs go into Arrowhead after dismantling the Cardinals in Arizona. Daniel, where do you stand with this game?
let's start with Steven and Tony on these because we already made picks. I want to see their takes.
Oh yeah, let's go. We'll go with you guys in the picks.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it to the Chiefs for the Thursday night win. They're coming off a very, very good win. They're going to have a lot of momentum on their end. They basically had a fucking tune-up game, as they call it in college football.
Yeah, dude.
Cupcake week.
Yep, they had a very nice cupcake week. So the Chargers, yes, they won, but I that Chiefs offense looks fucking explosive.
By the way, if you want the spread in this game, the Chiefs are favored by 4.5 as of right now. I think they cover the spread.
You guys want to let's go over that too. We'll do that as well in this segment because it's a bigger segment and we can go over it more. We'll do the spreads as well. Casey, just make sure you have those.
I had them up just right now. I forgot when I started.
Nope.
So
Tony, spread cover? Yes, no.
I think it's going to be a tight game.
You think it's gonna be a tie game? There's no way it's a tie game. Both these teams can score.
Tight.
Oh, tight. I was like, tie game. What are you talking about?
I heard
29th
tie
in
too.
NFL history, baby. Let's go.
Tony calls it. Watch them tie.
Fucking tie.
So, do you think the Chiefs win by more than 4 points or nah?
More than 4, yeah.
So they
More than
cover.
4.
I see them. Yeah, I'm gonna give them 5 plus.
5+.
Cool. So Tony's got the Chiefs covering the spread at home Thursday night.
Steven, where do you stand with this game?
So I have the Chiefs winning this game. I just think their offense looked unstoppable. But they are playing a better team in the Chargers. That being said, I still have the Chiefs doing well. They still have Patrick Mahomes. That offense is potent. I mean, the Raiders did pretty well against the Chargers, even though they lost. I just don't think the Chargers can keep up with the Chiefs right now. I just think the Chiefs are gonna take the cover.
Yep. I'll go ahead and piggyback off of that. The Chiefs have all the momentum in the world. I actually picked Arizona in week 1, and that was a terrible pick to make. I thought Arizona was going to do a lot better than that. Arizona shit the bed, and Kansas City showed up like nobody's business. I mean, I think that was just like Kansas City went 200% and Arizona went negative 100%. So the Chiefs will have all the momentum in the world. The Chargers had a tough game. They pulled away with it. I don't know that they go into Arrowhead, though, and take out the Chiefs like that. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one as well. As far as the spread goes, 4 points.
It's 4.5.
4.5. Nah, I don't take the cover. I think it's going to be close. I think the Chargers will compete with them because they are a very high caliber offense. I think their defense can neutralize the offense a little bit. There's a lot of weapons on Kansas City, but I think the Chargers will contain them a good amount, and I think it'll be a tight game. So no cover for me.
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. The over-under is 54.5. I like the over on that. I like the Chiefs to cover, too. I think the Chiefs will win by more than 4.5. So Chiefs cover, Chiefs win. Over 54.5 are my picks.
Nice, sweet, simple. I like it.
Perfect. Just going back to the chat here, Josh. At least you scored a touchdown. Yeah, you're the only team that didn't score a touchdown, Josh. We're beating the Bengals.
Sad. He's being sad boys about that one.
He said that you're beating the Bengals. So we'll get to that game, Josh. We'll get there. Next game here that I have is the New England Patriots going into Tony's Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 1-point underdogs at home. The over-under for this game is 40, like the under in that game. I actually really like the Steelers after what they did to the Bengals in week 1. I just don't believe in these Patriots at all. And they're a mediocre team. Pittsburgh should be better than New England at home. Get Pittsburgh +1 or take them straight up.
Tony, you go next. This is your team.
Even with the loss of Watt, which unfortunately he's out for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks, I think they're going to be just fine. They have 2 backups taking over for him. Obviously, they're going to struggle a bit compared to fucking Watt, but 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery in the past game against the fucking Bengals that you guys took against my Steelers.
He's salty that we didn't pick the Steelers. I learned my lesson, Tony. I just picked them, okay?
I know. I mean, you rounded it out pretty easily. The Patriots are a very mediocre team this year. So if the Steelers were able to hold up their own and do that against the Bengals, they should have no reason why they can't do it against the Patriots. I mean, Highsmith had an interception. It was fucking Oprah handing out interceptions with the defense out there. I'm gonna give it to the Steelers very easily. As long as the only thing holding the Steelers back right now is that fucking Matt Canada's his offensive calling is trash. If they just let Trubisky just fling out his fucking cock out there, he'd be just fine. But they're playing very reserved football. Yeah. The only good plays they had were the fucking little trick plays, the little double reversals where they just let him fling that ball out there. And what happened? They fucking got 20+ yards, 30+ yards. So as long as they just let him do his thing, they'll be able to score.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky is a really good quarterback, and people don't seem to think that. Steven, what do you have this week for New England and Pittsburgh?
So first, I want to say I was 8-7-1 this week, or last week, if you want to write it down. And I'm writing everything down now this time, so I
just keep track of your scores. We'll get it after the stream.
Remember. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But I have the Steelers being the Pats. I mean, the Pats' offense last week was just terrible. Like Casey has said multiple times, they're the most boring team in football.
Most boring team in NFL history.
They're playing probably. And with that being said, they're playing even a better defense than I think the Dolphins are in the Steelers. And I just think they might not even score any points. But it's the NFL. They will score points. But I definitely have the Steelers winning this game. What's the spread for this one?
The Patriots are favored by 1, believe it or not.
Yeah, the Patriots are favored.
That line will shift by the end of the week. It's Tuesday right now, so by the time the game happens, the Steelers will probably be favored.
If you're betting right now, bet Steelers right now. Get as much money as you can. But
now's a good time to say it. Steven's betting the bank on it, the house.
I wouldn't bet the house, but I would definitely take it now before the Steelers start.
You take out a mortgage on it.
Yeah.
Daniel, what's your take?
Yeah, the Steelers surprised everybody in week 1 except for Tony, apparently, except for Steelers fans.
Hey, he picked them. He did pick them. So
he did pick them. Well, he's a Steelers fan. You're not going to pick against. Well, we'll see.
All of us picked our teams.
Yeah,
I called the 3-point difference. I told you it was going to be tight. I told you it was the fucking dogfight.
It was a 3-point difference too. So there you go.
That's week 1 in the NFL for you. But the Steelers showed out, man. I honestly, my mind has been completely changed about the Steelers after 1 week, and I don't like them. I hate the fucking Steelers, but they look really good. Like Tony said as well, they need to let Mitch Trubisky take over and run the damn offense because he's a good quarterback, and he knows how to facilitate. They impressed me in week 1. I'm definitely taking the Steelers in this game. That's covering the spread, obviously, right as of right now. Yeah, I don't have much more to say on that. It sucks that TJ Watt tore his pec. That was like,
that does suck.
Heartbreaking for me. I like the
Watt brothers said it's not that bad. I think I just saw a report not too long ago that he's only be out at least maybe 4 to 6 weeks instead of the whole
4
season.
4 to 6 weeks instead of season ending.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was either a clean tear or it was a partial, but he walked off the field and you could see him mouthing the words, "I tore my pec. I'm done." It was crazy. Like that. You don't wish that on your worst
I
enemy.
think I saw
that
JJ Watt
seems awful.
do it, and he posted a picture of it, and like his whole like
It was,
was
like,
all purple.
purple.
Like it was
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah,
But-
muscle tears are disgusting.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
That's
but-
gross, man.
Apparently,
Yeah.
apparently it runs in their family.
Yeah.
Them soft titties.
All right, so it looks like we are all on the Steelers, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So nobody has faith in New England this year. Sorry, Pats fans, I hate you.
At least this week. After they lose to Miami like that, I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
to bet on
I
them.
mean, they still have to play the Jets twice, so
Yeah, that too. Anyway, next game here. Colts rolling into Jacksonville. Colts are favored by 4.
Go Jags.
Over under is 46.5. Listen, all right, I'm just going to start this one.
Go ahead.
We haven't won in Clowntown since 2014. I know. Everybody always says that. We lost embarrassingly last year. Colts figured it out in the fourth quarter, and if they come out playing like they did in the fourth quarter against the Texans, they're going to destroy the Jaguars. The Jaguars are not a good team this year. The Colts should be a really good team. I think after week 1, they get things together. We destroy Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Colts cover the 4. That's all I got. Fuck you, Clowntown.
You guys haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014.
2014. Yes, that is a
Holy
correct
shit,
stat
you
there.
guys suck. Steven, give your take on this game.
You know,
who did you
you know
say?
what the worst part about it is? Yeah.
What?
The worst part about it is that they insulted fucking Casey by making them pick their kicker.
Ugh.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Hey, this is the week we find out if Casey's wearing a Jaguars jersey next week.
that's right. I don't know where you guys are finding a Jaguars jersey, but whatever. There's a bet going on if the Colts lose to the Jaguars, I have to wear a Jaguars jersey on stream next week.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There's a Goodwill out there.
We're
that
rolling,
has
we're rolling it into Clowntown this week, and we're beating them. So
I
so
mean,
there's
your
that.
dad likes going to Ross. I'm sure he can find a Jaguars jersey.
Jesus
somewhere.
Christ! Shut the fuck
Hey,
up.
Ross
Steven.
goes
Don't
hard.
give him ideas. They're on sale too.
I
All
know.
right.
Get a Blake
Back
Bortles
to
jersey.
the damn predictions. Steven, what do you have on this game for real?
I like Casey said, the Colts figured out how to play football in the fourth quarter. Let it not be known against the Houston Texans. I think the Jags are a little better than the Texans still, but I think the Colts will figure out their ways and they'll pull a Michigan like last year and they'll finally end the streak.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck Ohio State, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that too.
Sorry.
Do they
Had to
cover
get
the
that out
4,
there. Go
Steven?
Blue.
Do they cover the floor? I think they do.
Tony?
Well, I want to be that vote against it just so I could fucking surprise
Do
everyone
it.
and keep my
Do
fucking
it.
difference going. No, but I can't. The Jaguars are just too bad to.
They're trash.
But the Texans are trash
Hey.
too, and look what they did.
Week
That's
1,
a
Tony.
long
It's week
No,
1.
time
I
to
think-
keep that streak
Yeah, that's
going.
week 1.
Like I said, look
Yeah.
what the Texans did in the fourth quarter. Nothing. They did nothing. They should have won
Yeah,
that game.
I don't see the Jaguars going too far. I'm going to give it to the Colts. They're going to cover that. It should be hopefully an easy game for them, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll give it to the Colts.
Cue the thing where we all pick the Colts and it goes across, and then like people post it later.
Oh, we forgot to look out how to do that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daniel.
We'll get that going next week for sure. Look, man. 2014, that's a long time. That's
That's 8
In
years.
8
in
years.
Jacksonville, we beat them
That's
just about every year.
No. I don't care where it is. It's fucking Jacksonville. 8 years you haven't beat Jacksonville at home.
Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Jacksonville at home. That's a stupid stat, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not even crazy. It's just dumb. Anyone that like wants to make a logical pick in this will pick the Colts, and I'm gonna pick the Colts as well.
I was like, where are you going with this?
No. I'm gonna take the Colts because it's the safer pick.
That's what it was
But if
last
you guys
year too. At
lose
the end
to
of the
the
season.
fucking Jaguars again, Casey,
Next week's not going to be fun.
I don't even know what to say to you. Like,
If
at
we
least
lose,
Dallas always does the exact same thing, and they're consistent at being bad. Like, this is just a mess in itself, and I don't know. I'm taking the Colts to cover that spread, though. I think they'll come back and figure their shit out because they have a lot of talent on that team, and they wasted it in week 1. But I think they figured it out, and they're gonna get rolling. They're gonna put together their good season.
good. I like that. Everybody's on the Colts. Perfect.
It's
Yep.
also crazy to think that the Colts have had 6 different quarterbacks in 6 years.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's
After Andrew
called the
Luck
Colts
left-
Colts quarterback carousel. So there's that.
Yeah. I miss Andrew Luck for you, honestly.
I do too, but we have to move on. Moving on to the next game. Speaking of teams that have never beaten another team, so the Jets and the Browns. But did you guys know that the Eagles have never lost to the Jets? The Jets have never beaten the Eagles. That's a stat too, just so you guys know. But anyway,
they're not playing this week, so
I know. But the Jets are playing against the Browns. They're rolling into Cleveland. The Browns are favored by 6 points. The over-under is 40 in this game. Tony, this is one of your teams in your division. We will start with you.
I'm gonna give it to the Browns. I mean, it's the Jets. It should be a pretty easy week for the Browns. I called them winning against Carolina, which is a better all-around team than the Jets, and they were able to pull through with it. So I'm gonna give the Browns. I'm gonna give the Browns a win this week. We all saw what happened with Hunt. He looks like he's pretty steady out there. Chubb is doing some work. We got just overall weapons for them. I don't think they're gonna beat the Steelers, but I'll give them this week with the Jets.
Do you think they cover the 6-point spread?
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's got the Browns by more than 6 points at home.
Steven?
Tony pretty much nailed it. The Browns played a good game against the Panthers, and the Panthers I think are still a better team than the Jets, as he said. So the Browns should win this game convincingly. They should definitely cover the 6 points. They might win by 2 touchdowns, honestly, but it's the NFL, like everyone says. Things can change. The Jets could pull off a win. Joe Flacco has known to be really good, so I mean, we'll see.
Here's my take. I just think it'll be closer than the experts think. I think the Jets cover the 6. The Browns do win the game, but I think the game will be a pretty close game. I don't think the Jets will get blown out 2 weeks in a row, but it is the Jets, so we'll see.
So you're taking Cleveland to not cover?
I'm taking Cleveland to win, but the Jets to cover the 6.
Gotcha. This is kind of a tough. See, here's the thing. Cleveland went into Carolina last week, and I think Carolina. I don't want to say Carolina's the better team between them and the Browns, but I'm not very convinced on the Browns. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know about the Browns. I'm going to take them in this game because I do know about the Jets, and I know that the Jets are not good. So I'm going to take Cleveland here to cover the spread and
win the game.
Win the game, obviously, but that's such a weird matchup, and the Browns are just such a weird team this year. I just don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge them this early, but we'll see what happens. That's why we play the games. But
Brown.
Moving on, we're still staying in your division, Tony. Miami Dolphins roll into Baltimore. Baltimore's home opener. The Ravens are 3.5 point favorites in this game.
Yes.
Over under is 44.5. And Tony, we'll start with you. This is your division again. What do you think the Ravens and Dolphins are going to do?
He's upset
this
because
is a tough one for me.
Actually, I actually think this is one of the harder games to pick this week. I think this is going to be a great game.
Like I said earlier, I think the Dolphins have the ability to make it to playoffs this year. They're really good. Their defense is good. Their receivers are fucking excellent. I really hate the Ravens, but I am rooting for them because I have fucking Lamar on my fantasy team. So this is you don't know how fucking torn I am inside having
a Raven on your team.
Oh, if they play like they did last week, I think the Dolphins could pull this one out. Deciding factor, though, I'm going to give it to the Ravens. I think they, in terms of what they can do offensively, they held back a bit on week 1 because everybody has a really weird week 1. So I think that they will pull it out in the end, but it's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be a really tough fight for them. So this is going to be a proving week for them. They're going to have to work for that win. What did you say the spread was?
3.5. The Ravens are favored by 3.5.
I see the Dolphins covering that. I think it'll be exactly a 3 fucking point game. 1 to 3 points.
Yep, they would cover if they did that. Steven?
I have the Ravens pulling it off. I mean, this one was hard for me. I had this one as a coin flip, basically. As the spread shows, it's probably going to be a coin toss. I think the Ravens will pull it off. It's in Baltimore, right?
Yeah,
It's in Baltimore.
Yeah. So I mean, they should be really hyped up because it's going to be their first game home. What did they play last week? Trying to figure that out.
Baltimore played the Jets. Miami played the Patriots.
Okay, so yeah, this is Baltimore's home opener, so they should be pretty jazzed up. They got a big win. The Dolphins are no joke though, but I think the Ravens are going to win, but Miami's going to cover the points and just lose by 3. So that half point, I think the Dolphins are going to cover.
I think that this is going to be a high scoring affair. The over under is 44.5. I like the over in that. I think the score will be like I said, the other game where it's like 20s and 30s. Both teams are going to put up points on the board. The Ravens are at home. I think late they pull away. They cover the spread. I like the Ravens to win at home over the Dolphins. Cover the 3.5. Take the over on the points.
Wonderful. I'm lone wolfing here, baby. First one of the week.
Dolphins.
Miami took care of business in week 1 against the Patriots. And I know the Patriots are a boring ass team this year, but I don't think they're terrible. I think they're a decent NFL football team. I don't think they'll make the playoffs or anything, but middle of the pack for sure. And Miami took care of business. They got a lot of weapons and they're figuring out how to utilize them. Tua looked really good in week 1. And I think that Miami's going to go and spoil Baltimore's home opener this week. And that'll, that covers the spread, right? Because Miami's winning that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
As long as they lose by 3.5 or less, that they cover.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Miami away in this game. That might be a controversial pick. It might not. Why we play the games, we'll find out on Sunday. The Dolphins.
Hey, I don't hate the pick though. I mean, like Steven said, it's a coin toss game. This is going to be a good game. And then we're saying this, and then somebody's going to blow somebody out. So there we go.
Yeah, probably.
But moving on, we'll move on to the
tie.
next game here. Kind of sticking to my division here. The Houston Texans, who we just saw on Sunday, roll into Denver against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 10 points.
I want to go first on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the over under?
Over under is 46.5.
I'm taking the under on that. For sure. Denver, okay. After week 1, the words that I want to come out of my mouth are Broncos country, let's die. The Broncos shit the bed against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are they're not a great football team. It's the NFL. They're all, I'll say that day in and day out. The NFL, you can't count anyone out. Anybody can beat anybody any given week. Anyway, I'm taking the Texans in this game, baby. They came out firing against the Colts, who are a high caliber team. They are away. This is probably a controversial pick, and I'll probably get a lot of shit for it, honestly, but I'm taking them anyway. Everybody that wants to talk shit, fuck your shit. I don't give a fuck.
Bring it on.
Do it. I'm taking the Texans in this game. Yeah, that's it.
This may shock you, Daniel, but I'm actually going to disagree with you. You thought I was going to agree for a second. Here's a couple things. Broncos are favored by 10. You have no business being favored by 10 over a team after you just lost to the Seahawks. There's no way. The Texans cover that 10. I think that's going to be closer than that. As far as the over-under, I like the under as well. I'm with you on that. But the Broncos should win this game at home. It's their first home. It's their home opener. The Texans showed us who they really were in the fourth quarter. They couldn't keep a lead. Once the Colts figured everything out, they played pretty well, with the exception of a missed field goal in overtime. But like I said, he's not on our team anymore. Anyway, I like the Broncos. Broncos win. Texans cover.
My thinking behind this, though, the only thing, Houston impressed me and Denver did not. I was very unimpressed with Denver and their entire team. They just had nothing going. So,
yeah,
I'm taking the Texans.
Steven?
the Broncos struggled in the red zone, as Ethan said earlier in the stream. They were 0-3, and they fumbled twice, I think, on the goal line. And that was 2 easy touchdowns right there.
Yeah,
They
Javonte Williams should have had a touchdown there, and he fumbled that ball. So
right into the end zone. The Broncos should have won that game easily last week. Then again, it was a very emotional game for Seattle, especially going against Russell Wilson. So they tried to ball out as much as they could, and they proved that they can win. But the Texans, I think, surprised themselves last week or on Sunday when they had the lead. They were like, "Holy crap, we have a lead! What do we do?"
There was a fan behind us at the game going, "Bro, I'm shocked." Like
Yeah,
a Texans
John
fan, not
shocked.
just John, but like the people behind us that were super cool.
I
They were
know.
like, "Bro, I'm shocked." Like when it was 20-3, the guy didn't know what to
Yeah.
do. He's like, "I've
They
never had this
scored-
feeling before."
They had more points in the first half than they did all of last year against the Colts.
Yep, sure did.
By a significant margin. They only
Yeah,
had
they only
3
scored
points
3 last year
They
against
only
the Colts.
scored 3 points last year against Colts.
They scored 20 in the
10
first half and then 0 in the second half.
No, they scored 10 in the first half, 10 in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter is where they.
Oh, that's
put up
right. That's right. The
everything.
fourth quarter is where they shit the bed. But
But I think the Texans don't know how to win, unfortunately. So I don't have them winning this game. I have them covering though, but they won't win. The Broncos should win this game. They'll fix their red zone problems. They should easily win that game. Home opener, Russell Wilson will be excited to go.
Tony,
I'm giving it to the Broncos as well. First of all, it's very hard to go into Seattle out of every stadium and pull off a win there just because it's so loud there. Such a great fan base. It was, like you said, it was a hard matchup for Russell to come into, especially with the blood that's there with him and the team. I don't see the Texans upsetting them, especially on their home opener. It was a lot of getting used to that team for Russell, which is why he struggled. 0 for 3 in the red zone is not something that you see out of him very often. So I think he just had a bad week. So I'm going to give it to him. They should be able to cover that 10-point. I think the Texans just had a very good start. But we see that against the Colts very often. We saw, me and Casey were there for the Seahawks taking them down for their home opener
last year.
Yeah. So I called that this year that they were going to have a rough start. I still gave them the win last week because it was the fucking Texans. But the Colts always struggle. The Colts always struggle for week 1. So
They didn't lose.
I think that might just be a consistency with the Colts where they just struggle, so they make the Texans look a lot better than what they were.
Yeah, we definitely did that for the first 3 quarters of that game.
I mean, honestly though, the Texans and the Bears a lot better than expected. I'll take that. I'll say that.
Yeah, David Mills will be a good quarterback.
Yeah, he actually looked really good for 3 quarters.
And then the Indy pass rush just happened.
Yeah, we started sacking the crap out of him.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to an AFC NFC matchup. We have the Cardinals, who just got shit on at home, going into Las Vegas. And Steven, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I have the Raiders winning this game. We already were big on Devontae Adams this week, especially with him doing pretty well against the Chargers and actually pretty good defense. And with the Cardinals having no defense, basically, the Raiders should basically win this game. What's the spread?
The Raiders are favored by 6. The over-under is 51.5.
Oh, yeah, 6 points. I'll take the over for the Raiders. The Raiders should cover. They should win by more than a touchdown, I think. I just don't think the Cardinals will be able to keep up, especially with their defense.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to play better than they did last week. They're going to figure some things out on their defense. They have to, or else the season's chalked for the Cardinals after this week if they can't figure anything out. But I think 6 points is a lot for the Raiders. The Cardinals are not too far from Las Vegas, and they'll have some fans there for sure. As far as the over-under, I don't really want to touch it because there's going to be some scoring, but that's a close number. That's where it should be. I think the Cardinals cover, but I think the Raiders will win at home. I think it'll be a closer game, like 4 or 5 point game, other than just a blowout. I think they figure some things out and they play better this week.
I'm going to agree with Casey. I think it'll be a 4 or 5 point game. the Raiders are going to come up with it ultimately. They actually have a pretty good offense that will be able to take care of the Cardinals. I mean, Josh Jacobs is consistently getting a good amount of yardage just to be able to not roll out the running game completely for the Raiders, which helps out the pass game. Darren Waller, like I said, is out there being consistent, being a beast. He's basically another receiver for him instead of just a tight end. So I see the Raiders taking this one. 51 points though. I'm gonna take the under.
Under.
Just
Yeah.
to switch
Yeah,
it
I
up.
think.
I'm gonna
I
go
mean,
under.
that's
51 points is a lot.
that's close to. I mean, it's for both teams though. That's close.
Yeah.
I think that could be about where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The only thing that like gets to me in that is that there's not a lot of defense on both of those teams.
I mean, the Raiders not that bad defensively. I mean,
Yeah,
they,
but the
they held
Cardinals are
Chargers pretty
god-awful.
in check.
Cardinals
Yeah,
have
that's-
one game against the Chiefs, who have a really good offense though. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how
The Raiders have a
who
really
the
good
Cardinals
offense
really
too, though,
are
so.
this week. But the Raiders should definitely win that game at home. If they don't, that bodes well for me, saying that the Raiders are frauds. So
It's true. Yeah. I, on the other hand, don't think the Raiders are frauds at all. I don't know how to feel about them, honestly, at this point. Like, I don't think they're like an extremely good team, obviously, but I don't think they're a bad team at all. I'd put them in like the top third of the league, give or take. But I'm definitely taking the Raiders in this game. I made a mistake in choosing Arizona last week. I thought they were going to play better, honestly. I knew it was a controversial pick, and I knew that I didn't think the Chiefs were going to blow them out that bad, and
They shouldn't have gotten blown out that bad.
nobody should ever get blown out that bad in the NFL. Just should never happen. I thought the Cardinals could pull off an upset at home. At home? Yeah, they played in Arizona.
they were at home. Yep.
They were
Yeah.
Arizona.
I thought Arizona could pull off the upset. I was wrong. But this week, I'm not picking them again away in Vegas. I'll probably be wrong about this too somehow, but I'm taking the Raiders to cover the spread. I'm going to take them by like 2 touchdowns, honestly, and I'm still going to take the under on it. I don't think Arizona's going to score a lot. I think it'll be a lower scoring game
Than usual.
than usual, yeah.
All right. Well, that's our take on the Raiders and Cardinals. Next game up on the docket, as Daniel says, I always say. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're jumping to the NFC, by the way. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are traveling to New Orleans. Like I said, past 8 meetings, Tampa Bay has won once. The one time they won was in the playoffs. New Orleans has won 7 of 8. New Orleans basically owns Tampa Bay in the regular season. I think this year, going into that game, Tom Brady knows that. The Buccaneers are favored by 2.5 in New Orleans this year. The over-under is 44. I actually really like the Buccaneers to pull this out. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady. Their offense didn't really do a lot in game 1 against the Cowboys. They did have a lot of field goals, but the Cowboys have a pretty decent defense. So we'll see how they do against this New Orleans Saints defense, who is pretty stout as well. But I like Tampa Bay to win, and I like them to cover. I think they're going to win by 3.
Tony?
I'm gonna agree. The Buccaneers have a pretty explosive passing game. Leonard Fournette is also running the ball very well. I see them taking that win very easily against the Saints. The Saints, though, they fucking took a W on the field and fucking off the field. Those fans were vicious last week, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were just beating people on the concourse and on the field.
In the Raiders
Yeah,
game, too, I saw a fight between a guy. It was a Raiders fan taking out a bunch of other fans, and then a girl came up to try and stop him, and he punched her, too. It was like, damn.
Don't be that guy if you go to a football game.
Yeah, don't be
Jesus
that
Christ.
person. It's a game, guys. It's a
funny
game.
to watch,
It's just-
honestly,
it's
but don't
keep-
be that guy.
If you got a phone around it, keep the content coming, but don't do that with games.
Don't do that, yeah.
Make that the highlight. Nah, but I see the Buccaneers pulling out with a win. I see them winning by more than 3 though.
Steven.
What do you got?
Are we gonna see 2 teams break their streaks against losing against another team?
Fuck yeah, the
This-
Colts and the Saints. Let's go, guys.
Hey, the thing about those 2 games, though, both of those teams are away. So
That's what he's saying.
that's
that's why. Are we gonna have 2 teams in the same week break their curses? Yeah, this was another one of my toss-up games.
This should be a good
I
game
have-
for sure.
This should be a good game. I think the Bucks are going to go over the Saints. I know it's gonna be a rough crowd in New Orleans. I mean that the Superdome's always a tough place to play, but I think the Bucks will figure it out this year and beat the Saints. I mean the Bucks defense is good. Their offense is, I don't know. We either Dallas had a really good defense, even though they were on the field for majority of the game, or the Bucks just have a okay offense. But it's Tom Brady's, and you can never count him out, as all of us have said at least once this while we've been streaming. So I have the Bucks winning.
Oh yeah, that's my thing here is Tom Brady. Dallas's defense is a lot better than people are thinking, and I think they did just as well as they did in any game last year. I mean, they showed up. The defense showed up. The offense didn't. We're not talking about the Cowboys though. Anyway, Tom Brady and the offense did look a little flat. There were some miscommunications. They did lose Chris Godwin again. I don't know if he's going to be out. How long is he out for? Do we know that?
I don't know. I didn't get the report on that just yet. But
I'll look it up.
He's out for a little bit.
Go ahead, do that, Steven, for me. But yeah, I've bet against Tom Brady before. Every time I do it, I lose. So I'm going to take the Bucks here in New Orleans. I honestly want to pick New Orleans in this game. I want to. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady again. It just I can't do it anymore. The Bucks should win the game. There's no reason that they shouldn't. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They just got to show up and execute. That's all it is.
True.
Taking the Bucks.
Did you get that stat, Steven?
They really didn't give a time. It's going to be a few weeks.
I don't think it's been reported yet, but
yeah.
He'll
be out for this game at least. So.
Anyway, sticking to the NFC, we have the Carolina Panthers going into New York to play the Giants. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites at home after their win over Tennessee. After their ballsy win over Tennessee is what we'll call it.
Ballsy.
The over-under for this game is 43. I like the over in this. I like the Giants to win and cover over Carolina.
Yeah, I am agreeing with you on that. What was the spread?
2.5.
Oh, yeah.
Giants
I'll definitely take that. New York showed us who they were in week one, man. They
shut down Derrick Henry.
They did. They really did. Their defense looked really good, and their offense looked good. I mean, health has been the issue with Saquon Barkley for the past couple of years.
And he looked amazing.
He looked crazy good. I mean,
Saquon
Barkley has always been crazy good. He just can't stay healthy, and I don't get it because his legs are
massive.
Ridiculous.
Like a big old choo-choo train.
His thighs are like twice the size of mine, and I have big thighs. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
He's massive. It's just crazy. If they stay the way they did against Tennessee, they should have no problem taking out Carolina. They should shut down Christian McCaffrey, as we had in our boom or bust. Everybody had Christian McCaffrey busting, so wink. But I'm taking New York here to cover that 2.5 spread, and I will also take the over with you, Casey, on the what's it called?
On the points.
On the points.
Yeah, 43 is the over under there, and I like that. I like over. Take the over.
Yeah. High scoring game for sure.
Go ahead, Steven.
I think I have the Panthers winning this. I think they're going to be really motivated to win this game. And the Giants, I think the Giants are pretty good this year, or they're good this year. They're just, I think they caught Tennessee off guard with their running game, and Saquon just went off on them. But I think Daniel Jones is still a liability to the team, honestly. But I think the Panthers should win. I think, what was the spread again? 2.5?
2.5.
For the Giants?
Yes.
I think the Panthers will cover, honestly. Well, obviously, because they're going to win. I have them winning. So
you have the Panthers?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I thought I was going to be the only one. but I'm going with the Panthers too.
This is our first split.
I like. Yep, it's an even split. I like the Panthers taking it this week. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance, especially after that little hiccup. It was a really, really tight game for them against the Browns. I think there's going to be a proving game for them. So I see them taking on the Giants.
Here's my thing with this, though. Like, your game plan for Derrick Henry, there's no doubt about it. And they shut him down. They executed it.
That's what every team does to Tennessee. That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do with Carolina, though. What else does Carolina have besides a running.
Well, they have
offense.
Baker
They
Mayfield.
have Baker
now.
Mayfield, who can run. He can throw the
but
ball.
I mean, even then, that's still containing the running game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the defense can perform the way they did against Tennessee, they should have no problem winning this game. But anybody can beat anybody in any given week in the NFL.
I put that on a shirt too for Daniel.
Yeah.
We missed Josh in the chat a couple minutes ago. I saw that pop up when we were still talking about Tennessee
And the
about the
Saints.
Buccaneers and the Saints. If Winston can keep his completions to his team, they have a decent shot. That is true. It's going to be the factor in every Saints game this season. That is correct too. But Jameis played pretty good in week 1, Josh. I mean,
He played really well.
He can. I mean, after he got LASIK, he's nailing his targets downfield.
He had 26 points in a standard fantasy football league. So,
and like I
I
said,
guess you don't really have
what I
extra
say,
points as a quarterback.
he
in
was
PPR, so.
QB4, I believe, last week in standard
Jameis
formats.
Had a really good week 1.
But
yeah, he should be the deciding factor throughout the season for the Saints.
moving on to the next game here, we have the Washington Commanders going into Detroit to face the Lions. The over-under in this game is 49.5, and the Lions, believe it or not, are favored by 2.5.
Hey.
Tony,
Well-
Steven, care to go first? Daniel, anybody?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I have the Lions winning.
That's it?
I don't. Hold on. Fucking
I have the Lions winning.
You just kind of stopped.
I have the Lions win. Done. End stream. I have the Lions winning. They surprised a lot of people last week. I know Philly kind of fell asleep in the second half, but they are a better team than a lot of people think. That being said, Washington is also a better team than everybody thinks. Carson Wentz went off last week, but I think Detroit is hungry to get on the winning side of football this year, and I think they will pull it off and cover.
Yeah, I tell everybody this weekly. I'm sure I've said it on the podcast, nauseating them out, but this is not the same Lions team as years before. This Lions team can put up some points. I think they can score. I agree with Steven. I think they take out the Commanders at home. The Detroit crowd goes wild. They will show up for the game. It's their home opener. Take the Lions. As far as the spread, they're favored by 2.5. That's a hard spread for me because this could be a closer game, but
Yeah, it is.
if I had to bet on it, I'd take the Lions. 2.5.
It's so hard with the spread because that's just a field goal, and that seems like a lot on the spread. But then you look at it in real life, and it's just a field goal, and you're like, oh, they only won by a field goal.
By the way, Josh goes, no, he was phenomenal. Can't talk crap about him at all, referring to Jameis Winston. Daniel, what do you stand on this game here? Daniel, where do you stand?
I'm sitting, actually. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions as well in this game.
Ooh, okay.
God damn.
God damn.
I think, NFC East had a really weird week. I don't think anybody expected Washington or New York to win their games. They did.
Nobody did.
I think we all expected Philly to beat the Lions. Was expected. And then the Cowboys and the Bucks was a toss-up. But we all know what happened there, and the Cowboys are falling apart day by day. So, but I'm taking the Lions in this game. I'm gonna take the cover for the Lions. I'll give them at least a field goal win. They're at home. It's their home opener. Their home opener, right? Yeah, they played Philly last week. Their home opener, like Steven, you put that perfectly. That the Lions want to get on the winning side of football. I really liked how you said that. They do look a lot better than a lot of people are thinking after week 1. Honestly, my mind is being changed about a lot of teams after just the first week, because there were a lot of teams that I did not have any faith in, and they showed up and showed out, and I paid the price for it in my game pick record at 6-9-1. So I'm taking the Lions at home this week to cover that spread. As far as the points go, though, I don't know that it's that high of a scoring game. I think I want to take this at like 20-17 or something like that.
Yeah, it's 49.5.
Yeah, I think that's way too high.
I don't know. Both defenses. Washington definitely has a better defense here, I think.
The defenses aren't that great, but neither are the offenses.
Yeah,
and they're pretty evenly matched. That's where
I was going to say this might be one of the better games to watch this weekend because both teams are probably pretty close in how they play, but we'll see what happens.
If Washington had Chase Young, I think I would go with Washington. But
I can see that.
Fair.
But anyway, Tony?
I want to give it to the Lions so bad because I just want them to win.
So does my
But I
mother.
think
Don't
you know,
sweat it. So
like you said though, they are so much better than they've been. So it's such a different team. I am gonna unfortunately give it to the Commanders though. I think they'll be able to. I think Scary Terry's gonna come in there and show him why he's receiver number one for the team. I think he just had
Sure.
an off week. Um, I want to give it to the Lions, but no, I think the Commanders will be able to pull it off. Like you said, they have a little bit of a better defense, so I see them coming in clutch for the win for them. It won't be by much. I see it. Obviously, I'm getting the coverage just because I'm picking the Commanders to take it, but I see it going by. I'm going to say 4-point difference.
by the way, if you
Okay.
take the Commanders straight up, they're plus 115, which means if you bet $100, you win $115. If you take the cover, they're minus 110, so it means you have to bet $110 to win $100. So it's better to just take them straight up there than just taking the points there because it's just better
Yeah.
odds.
Yep.
All right.
Random.
Well, let's move on
Tony
to
going with the commies.
huh?
I said Tony's going with the commies.
You get the
Damn
Commanders.
commies.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny, honestly.
I didn't hear what you
That's
said.
pretty
I think
good.
you said something about comments, and I was like, "What?"
Oh,
I,
no, no,
I
no.
heard what you said too, and I was like, did he really just
Didn't
use that? But
process it.
it's the Commanders.
Yeah.
That's a funny joke, Steven. I like it.
Yeah, that is funny. All right,
It's
moving
better
on.
than Josh.
Moving on to the next teams. Moving on to the next teams, we have the Atlanta Falcons going into LA to play an angry Rams team. The Rams, probably the highest spread of the week. They're favored by 10.5. The Falcons this last week kind of showed us that they're not as terrible as everybody thought they were going to be. They competed in that game, and they only lost because New Orleans hit a field goal to win it at the end. The over-under is 47. If you take the Falcons straight up, it's plus 420, which means if you bet on the Falcons to
Blaze
win
it.
and they do win, 420. There you go.
Jesus.
I think the Falcons will cover the 10.5. But I don't think they're going to beat the Rams in LA. I think the Rams win. The Rams defeat the Falcons. I think it's closer than 10.5 points.
I'm gonna go next here because I don't want you guys to take what I'm gonna say. Look, the Rams shit the bed so hard in week 1.
Sure did.
Their offense could not get anything going. Cooper Kupp still showed out because he's Cooper Kupp. That's just bound to happen every week, apparently. Especially when Matthew Stafford only throws to him. The Rams are still a really scary team. I mean, they just came off a Super Bowl win, and I think week 1 was a fluke for them. I still think that Buffalo should have won. Well, let me backtrack, because I'm just stumbling now. I picked the Rams to win last week because I had faith in them. My faith was misplaced because the Bills were pissed. And I think the Bills are going to be pissed all season until they have the Lombardi Trophy. But I think the Rams are still the force to be reckoned with in the NFC. And I think they will be throughout the entire season. They have the most talent on any NFC team by far. The only other team that I would probably compare in the NFC is, I don't even know. Maybe Tampa Bay?
I was like, maybe the Vikings, honestly.
Maybe the Vikings look really good this year too, but they're just stacked. I mean, they lost a couple players this year, but I don't think it's really going to affect them that much. I think Buffalo was just really pissed in that first game. But now I think the Rams are pissed because Buffalo was pissed that someone was pissed. I don't know.
They're all pissed.
Yeah, everyone's pissed. The Rams are going to kill the Falcons in this game, I think. I think they're going to cover that 10-point spread. I think they're going to win by like 20 points, honestly. I'm taking the Rams huge in this game.
Steven?
Do you think that the Rams are going to have to use a silent count against Falcon fans this week?
No.
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 Not like last week. I saw a post about that, but I think the Rams should win this game pretty easily. I do have the Falcons covering. I think it'll be a little closer than everyone thinks, but the Rams are angry, as everyone is going to say, and they should easily win this game. They're going to be mad. Matthew Stafford should pass the ball to other people not named Cooper Kupp, and that defense will come back into form.
Tony?
Pretty straightforward. I think they covered everything. I'm going to give it to the Rams. I'm going to agree with Daniel on this one, though. I think they're going to just fucking destroy them because they're going to be pissed off of last week's fluke.
Yeah.
If they don't win, they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Oh
If
yeah,
the
if they
Rams
don't win,
lose
that's
this
even.
game,
Yeah, it's over.
it's not good.
But yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
not
give it
over,
to 'em.
but it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on in the games here. We have the surprising Seahawks rolling into San Francisco to take on the 49ers, who just lost to the Bears in Chicago. The 49ers are favored by 10 points, believe it or not, even after Seattle's showing against Denver. Over under is 42.5. I like the over there. I just don't think the 49ers are going to beat the Seahawks by 10. I think the Seahawks cover. I do have the 49ers winning, but I think it'll be a closer game than 10 points. 10 points is a lot of points to give out in the NFL. I don't care who you're playing. It's just a lot of points.
Yeah.
But
the way I saw the last game with the Rams and the Falcons, though, it's just opposite ends of the spectrum to me.
Yeah.
That's why I give them that. But
it's crazy. But
this game, no.
This game, the 49ers have to show out better than they did against the Bears. I know they were playing in a monsoon, but the 49ers have to show you who they are in this game, because who they were last week, not it.
Not a good look.
So not a good look at all. I'm still picking the 49ers. I've already got a lot of slander for it on TikTok, me picking the 49ers. All the Seahawks fans have been like, hey, what the fuck? But let's go.
All the Seahawks fans came out of hiding.
Yeah, they came out of hiding after they beat the Broncos. But here we go. San Francisco over the 49ers. Sorry. San Francisco over the Seahawks. Seahawks cover.
Yes, I agree in that. San Francisco should show out in this game, but Seattle's a good team, as we saw yesterday. I don't think anybody expected them to win. Well, maybe some people, but that was a weird game. The Broncos shit the bed, and Seattle played really well. Geno Smith showed out, and it's a division rivalry, so it'll be a close game. And I will be taking the Niners in this game. I think they get back to form. I think Trey Lance finally comes into form a little bit and starts settling down, because he will be able to throw the ball a little bit more. It's not pouring rain. Well, I don't think it'll pour like it did in Chicago.
It could rain.
Nuts.
It could rain.
Not that bad though, you know. But we'll see how the forecast is on Sunday. I'm gonna bet on clear skies, no rain, and I'm gonna take Trey Lance to finally figure things out and win that game. But the spread, I agree with you. I think Seattle covers, and it'll be a closer game than 10 points for sure.
Tony.
Completely agree. Giving it to the Niners. I think the Seahawks just had a really good week one. Like you guys said, Geno Smith showed out. He was written off, but he ain't right back. That was so stupid. But no, I'm gonna give it over Niners. Like you guys said, it's gonna be a close game. I don't see it being more than a 6-point difference, honestly.
Steven.
Yeah, Seattle surprised a lot of people yesterday. Then again, Denver probably gave them that game with those fumbles in those red zone trips. But I don't see him beating the 49ers. I think, as Daniel said, Trey Lance should find his form. I know the Seahawks are probably a better defense than the Bears, but that game in Chicago was just a mess.
Yeah, the whole thing was a cluster.
It really was.
So, like, it was... I guess that's why a lot of people are giving a lot of slack to the 49ers this week, but they should be fine this week and get back to their winning ways and win this game. But I think... who they playing? The Seahawks will cover.
Seahawks cover the 10, you say?
Yeah. I don't think the
like you said earlier,
that's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is 10 points is a lot in the NFL. Like, what was the Cardinals Chiefs game last week? I think the spread was like 3.5, and the Chiefs beat them by 20 something. But crazy. Last non-primetime game here. We have the Bengals heading into Dallas to face the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys kind of decimated by Dak breaking his thumb. He's not going to play. You got Cooper Rush at quarterback. Steven, Daniel, I'll let you guys take it from here. The spread, the Cowboys are actually 8-point underdogs to the Bengals. The over-under is 42.5.
Steven, go ahead.
I'll go first. Yeah. That's the Cowboys will cover that. I think the Cowboys defense is good, and as we learned last week with the Steelers, the Cincinnati offensive line is still not that good. They struggled mightily against the Steelers defense, and I can say that the Dallas defense is probably just as good as the Seattle or the Pittsburgh defense. That being said, other side of the ball is the question now. Do they run the ball a lot more, or are they going to let Cooper Rush run the offense? That's going to be the problem. And I think Daniel will probably elaborate a lot more on this. But
Yeah.
I still have the Bengals winning, but the Cowboys covering the spread, unfortunately.
Yeah. I can't take Dallas this week. I just can't. As much as it hurts my heart to bet against them, they got nothing going their way right now. Steven, like you said, the defense for Dallas showed up. The offense did not. I am glad that I have Dallas's defense, honestly, because they look like they're formed from last year, honestly. Their defensive line looks really solid still, even without who left last year. There were so many names. Was it Randy
everybody?
Yeah. Well, on the defensive line is what I'm getting at. But the defensive line still is full of beasts, and they're hungry. The defensive line is the hungriest unit on Dallas's team with Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Odigizua. They're just massive beasts on that line, and I think they're going to get a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow this week. The Bengals offensive line needs to get it together because Joe Burrow carries that team like nobody's business.
Yeah, he's going to get hurt again.
Yeah, he might if they don't step up. But I think Dallas's pass rush will keep them in the game, and Joe Burrow will struggle a little bit with throwing just because of that pass rush. But I got to take the Bengals in this game because I don't believe in Dallas's offense. I don't believe in Kellen Moore's play calling. I haven't the past 3 years. I don't know why he's still there, honestly. He calls plays like he's playing fucking Madden 17. Like, it sucks. He's such a... There was a time where he was making good play calls. I think it was last year, actually. The play calling wasn't terrible, but then at the end of the season, it's especially in that Niners game in the playoffs, the play calling was god awful. It was just terrible, and that's what bit us in the ass. And it actually like ruined most of our games because we wouldn't be able to score early and hold the lead. You know, it was just a mess.
We'd have to play catch up a lot.
Yeah, we had to play catch up too many times, and the offense couldn't get back into it because the play calling just wasn't there. I'm taking the Bengals here. You said 8.5 on the spread?
8.
Just 8?
Yeah.
Like we've been saying, I don't think the Bengals will cover that. I'm taking Dallas on the cover. I think it'll be probably like a 6-7 point game. Excuse me. Just because of the defense. I think it'll be a lower scoring game because Dallas can't score, and the defense, I think, will hold Cincy pretty well. So I'm taking the Bengals, but Dallas covering the spread.
Tony.
Definitely under on the 46 points.
Tony.
So I have to disagree. I honestly see the Bengals, especially after being torn down so badly last week. I see them coming out for blood this week. They have to redeem themselves, so they are going to put some points up. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't agree with the fact that the Cowboys defense is as close to the Steelers defense as you believe. So I see them being able to break it down a lot more. Like you said, though, the offensive line for Joe Burrow has to be better. I think after seeing how easily the Steelers were able to get around their offensive line, they'll be able to plug in those holes and be ready for week 2. As well, you guys don't have fucking TJ Watt and Highsmith coming on opposite ends. Those are two insanely great pass rushers. So I think they're going to be prepared for week 2. With the Cowboys not being able to score as easily as the Bengals are going to be, I see them. Yeah, I see them. I see the Bengals covering that 8-point deficit very easily. Unfortunately, you guys are struggling on the offensive side, especially now more that Dak is out. So I see this as a really one-sided game. I think Jamar Chase is going to be able to break free a lot easier, just because your guys' secondary is going to be struggling once Mixon gets going. So, unfortunately, I think this is going to be a really one-sided game towards the Bengals side.
I kind of agree with Tony. I like this Bengals team to come in. They're mad. They played a much better defense than the Steelers and what the Cowboys have. The Cowboys defense is not bad. Don't get me wrong. They're not bad, but they could keep you in the game, but I don't think they're going to because your offense won't be able to score.
You're gonna be gassed.
It's gonna be like you were saying, since he let them sack Joe Burrow seven times last week. So the Dallas defense is gonna have to do some work to keep them in this game because the offense is really gonna struggle. They could score some points. Who knows? Cooper Rush might come out and ball out, and this will be like a shootout. But Cooper Rush isn't a terrible quarterback. He'll be fine starting.
He's got plenty of practice.
Yeah, it's the rest of your offense though. It's you have CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz. Who else is catching the ball? Michael Gallup back this week?
One.
Hopefully, Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard maybe.
Yep.
Maybe he'll check down to Tony Pollard if he's
Maybe
in the
they'll
game.
Finally,
Maybe
use him.
it depends because maybe Zeke will be running the ball still. So,
Probably.
but we'll see what happens. I think I like the Bengals by 10 or more in this game because their offense is just so good. They are without T. Higgins this week, possibly because he's in concussion protocol, though. I actually have Hayden Hurst on my waiver wire pickups on TikTok because of that. That's a lot of targets. But T. Higgins being out, you still have Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is that guy, and he can put up some points too. So
You also have Joe Mixon in your backfield. So
Joe Mixon. I mean, he can dunk it off to him.
You know, Tyler Boyd also did pretty well.
Yeah, well, actually,
was out.
Hayden Hurst had more targets than Tyler Boyd last week. So there's that. So, but yeah, I like the Bengals. I think they cover the 8. I actually like the over too. It's 42.5. I think Dallas will score some points. I think the Bengals will score between like high 20s, low 30s in the points, given cover on the over. So Bengals cover the 8, over 42.5. That's what I got there.
perfect.
All right.
I don't think Dallas's season starts till week 5 at this point. Honestly, like
Yeah.
for real, I don't. Week 5 or 6 is when Dallas's season will really start when we get Dak and Michael Gallup back. Till then, I don't care.
See what happens, but you should care about your team. So
I care.
yeah.
I care. I'll always care, and I'll always love the Cowboys.
I was still
It's
caring
just
about my team when we were going 3-13. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
I know.
go. All right, next game here, Sunday Night Football. You have the Bears, the surprising Bears, rolling into Lambeau Field this week. The Bears rolling into Lambeau Field. Thank you, Tony, for that. Rolling into Lambeau Field. Believe it or not, the Packers are favored by 10. There's a lot of big spreads this week to open the week. The Packers favored by 10 with the offense that couldn't score last week. So we'll see what happens here, but I actually like the Bears to cover. I'm picking Green Bay to win. I was this close to picking the Bears to win, though, but I just couldn't do it. I'm going to take the first game as a fluke from Green Bay. I think Aaron Rodgers will play better. I think their receivers will catch the balls after this week. The over-under is 42.5. This game, historically, is a low-scoring game.
Yep.
So I like the under there, but I like the Bears to cover, Packers to win. Steven, what you got on this game?
What was the over-under?
Over-under is 42.5.
Oh, yeah, there's no way. That game's going to be like 14-10.
3-0.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much nailed it. I think the Bears game last week was a fluke because of the weather. I think the Bears were more handled to play that type of game than the 49ers were.
Bears better than everybody thinks they are, though.
They are.
Because of the way they came out. 49ers are a good team. Even rain or no rain, that was a good showing by the Bears.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the 49ers were up 10-0 at one point, and then they just let 19 points go on them. That being said, I think the Packers are going to be angry, especially Aaron Rodgers. I think they'll have the wide receivers just sitting in front of a jug machine for like 100 catches.
That's what
Just
I would do.
catch the ball. Catch the damn ball.
Catch
You got
it.
to do that UTEP too. But I think I agree with you, Casey. I think the Packers will win it, but the Bears will definitely cover the spread. I don't think that they will lose by more than 10. There's no way.
Tony.
Completely agree. You hit the nail right on the head. The Packers are gonna beat the Bears. Weather was a very big factor on their win. Like Steven said, they were more accustomed to that kind of weather than the Niners were expecting. So I think they just had a really good game because of external factors. So I see the Packers winning. I know if the receivers do as they did this past week, Aaron Rodgers is gonna just fucking quit on them. So they know that they gotta step it up or he's out. So I'm giving it to the Packers. It's gonna be closer than expected, especially because they don't have the scoring weapons that they once did. So that's the only saving grace for the Bears, but the Packers should take it overall.
Is Randall Cobb still with the Packers?
No.
Yes, he is.
He is?
Was with Dallas, and then he went back to Green Bay.
Oh, I didn't know he went back.
Yes.
I thought he was still with Dallas. But Daniel?
No, he only played for 1 year.
Oh, I got one thing to say. It's 2 words. Duh, Bears.
You picking the Bears.
I'm taking the motherfucking Bears this week, baby. The Packers were so unimpressive in week 1. I have no trust in anybody but Aaron Rodgers there. Maybe a little bit in the running game, but the offensive line, not really. Aaron Rodgers was getting destroyed the entire game, and when he did make the good throws, nobody caught him. The defense also didn't look very good, so I'm not taking the Packers here. I think Chicago's riding a high, beating one of the better teams in the NFL. Rain or shine, it's the NFL. They won the fucking game. So
What's
I'm
crazy,
taking the Bears.
if the Bears win this game, they could be leading the NFC North, and the Packers could be in last place.
Yep.
After this game. That's
I'm taking the Bears, baby.
wild to take. Well, moving on. Believe it or not, there are 2 Monday Night Football games this week.
Nights.
Yeah.
Monday night
stupid.
double feature.
Usually they do that week 1, but they're doing it week 2 this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, well, there was a college
Oh,
football game
why?
week 1 on Monday night. Oh, no. No, there wasn't. No,
Last
no,
night? No.
never
Yeah,
mind.
there was. Week 1 of college football. There
No,
was
last
a
night.
game every day.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
this is week 2 of
Yeah,
college
no,
football.
it was last week. There was one on Monday, but
There
anyway.
was a game on Monday is what I'm getting at. But
Anyway, Monday night double feature. First game, Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills coming off that throttling of the LA Rams last week. Bills are favored by 10. I always say that's a lot of points. Bills cover that 10. The Titans didn't impress me at all in week 1. They lost to the Giants. They should have beat the Giants. They did not. The over-under is 49.5, and the only reason why it's that high is because the Bills are going to put up a lot of points. Give me the over. I like the over. Bills destroy the Titans. It's their home opener. Their crowd's going to be a factor. It's not even going to be close. This is my blowout of the week here. I think the Titans are out of the league in this game.
You know what?
That's kind of
Honestly,
a
I think
cool-
we're all gonna kind of agree on this one. It's fucking the Titans are gonna be able to fucking keep up with the Bills. I think honestly, this is gonna be one of the fucking easiest decisions to make for all of us. It's gonna be the Titans. It's gonna be the Bills. I'm sorry.
I'm switching my pick right now just because of that. No, I'm just kidding.
He's not.
Plugging
gonna be
in the
Titans.
Titans.
Give me Titans by 14.
Titans by 14. Jesus.
Derrick Henry with 6 touchdowns on his own.
The Titans
That'd be
defense
so
couldn't
great for
stop
my
the
fantasy
Giants. You
team.
think they're going to stop the Buffalo Bills?
No. There's no way.
Hey, it's the NFL, baby. Anything can happen in any given week.
That's why we play the games.
Oh god, everyone's gonna get so tired of us.
Yeah.
Raise the
They
hands.
really
Anyone
are.
picking the Titans?
No, absolutely not. I hope that Derrick Henry shows out and carries the Titans on his back like he always does. Dear God, he needs help. But
Fucking Derrick Henry needs no man. He is the man.
He's the king, King Henry.
Steven?
Yeah, no, the Bills are just going to roll the Titans, unfortunately. I mean, the Titans just showed you how bad they were last week, and the Bills showed you how good they are last week. So, yeah, you have the Bills winning. I have them covering barely, but they will cover.
Yeah, Titan fans are going to be watching this later going, oh, it's just because he's a Colts fan. You're damn right. It's because I'm a Colts fan. I hate you guys. 0-2. We're going 1-0-1. All right.
I don't know. I don't know about a blowout in this game.
What do you consider
Logically,
blowout?
in the NFL, I'd say a blowout is 17 plus,
Talk yourself out of it, Daniel.
14 plus, maybe.
Don't do this to yourself.
I'm not gonna pick the Titans. Absolutely.
Oh,
not.
okay. I was worried for a second there. I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
That's why I chose my words very carefully there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as big a blowout as you guys think because it is the NFL and it takes a lot for teams to do that. Last week, Kansas City decimating Arizona like that, like I've said probably 6 times already in this video alone. should never happen in the NFL. That's embarrassing. I don't think the Titans are that bad. I think the Giants are just a lot better than we're thinking. And I think this will be a closer game than we think. I do think Buffalo will still win the game, obviously. They're just so fucking good. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you winning the game. Buffalo's winning the game. I disagree with you. It's going to be a blowout. I think they're going to win by a lot.
We'll see.
So this is my blowout of the week. Moving on, though. Last game.
Moving on to the game of the week.
Probably the game of the week. Watch it be the Titans and the and the Bills game of the week. Anyway, probably the game of the week here. Monday Night Football, the late game, because there's two games. Minnesota rolls into Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. I will let one of you guys start off on this one. Daniel, you hate the Eagles. Let's start with you.
I'll go first. Fuck the Eagles. No, but seriously though, fuck them. I'm taking the Vikings in this game. There's no question in it. Justin Jefferson he's a baller, man. He's just showing out every week, and it's getting better and better, and it's insane.
He's scary, man.
He's so good.
Scary.
Like that was actually one of the games that I watched this past week was the Vikings and the Packers. He was just doing whatever he wanted with them. It was just nuts. Kirk Cousins has come into form in Minnesota. He's always been a good quarterback, but he's got that connection now with Justin Jefferson, and they're just going to keep rolling. Dalvin Cook is in the backfield. Their offense has a three-headed monster that is a force to be reckoned with. I'm liking the Vikings more and more every week. I know we've only played 1 week, but the more I watch them play, the better the more I like them.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Minnesota here. What are the spreads and the over/under here?
Philly is favored by 2.5. The over/under is 50.5, and I think that's the highest over/under of the week.
50.5?
50.5.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the over on that. Actually, I think this will be a high-scoring game. I don't think it'll be a very run-heavy game. I think there'll be a lot of throwing going on both sides of the ball because both of their secondaries are not the best. So I'm gonna take the over on 50 on that. I'm gonna take like a high-scoring 30-point, say 35-31 game.
Kind of like how the Eagles ended up their first game. Theirs was a shootout with the Lions, 38-35. But I agree with you, Daniel. I am taking the Vikings. I have been high on this Vikings team. They're coming in as the underdogs in this game. I think they can definitely win this game. This is gonna be an old-fashioned offensive shootout. I think lots of points are gonna be scored in this game. Whatever defense stands up, that's the team that's going to win.
Yep.
I have
100%.
more faith in the Vikings defense. I like the over 50.5 as well. There could be 50 to like 70 points scored in this game. Because I'm saying all this, the score is going to be 10-3 to end the game.
Probably.
But I like the Vikings. Give me the Vikings to win straight up. They're plus 115 to win straight up. They're 2.5-point underdogs. Plus 110 gets you that. But I like the Vikings to win this game.
Yeah, this is going to be the Eagles' hardest game of the first half of their season. I think the Eagles and Vikings will play very offensively. Like you said, the first defense to show up wins the game.
Whatever defense does anything in this game probably will win this game.
I have more faith in Minnesota's for sure.
Yeah, me too.
I think I do too. I have Minnesota winning over the Eagles. I have a feeling Tony's going to be the one opposite, just the way he's looking at us.
Smug look over there.
Not because I hate the Eagles or anything, but I think that it's going to be a good old classic shootout, like everyone says. It's going to be fun to watch. This will be fun, and it's Monday night prime time, so everyone will be watching. Yep.
I do kind of feel like the games this week are a little more consensual than we were last week, because last week we all had different picks for like everything almost.
Well, yeah, that's week one. We don't know what the hell any of the teams are going to do.
But this week we don't really differ too much. But Tony, I'll let you take the floor. Looks like you're taking the Eagles here.
We can't just all agree on both Monday night games.
Hey, it's what you think.
Well, I mean,
I made all these picks based on what I think. You guys made all your picks based on what you think. What do you think?
Well, obviously, I've been going back and forth on this one because the Vikings are just so good on offense in comparison to the Eagles. The secondary for the Eagles is what's up?
I said the Eagles are really good on offense too. I mean,
they are, but they're not at the caliber of fucking Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown's a good dude. He's the dude on that team. Got
like
Jalen
Casey
Hurts
said,
too.
though, like the first defense to show up this week is going to decide who wins this game. I agree with that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
that is spot on. Honestly,
Going with that, though, who do you think can handle pressure better between Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
That's the decider for me.
Jalen Hurts is inaccurate. That's his problem.
Yep, that's his problem right now. Yes, he could run the ball, but he's very inaccurate. He's got the receivers now for it, so he should have no excuse. But so the only, like you said, it's going to be decided on whose defense shows up first. If the secondary could figure out how to fucking play for the Eagles and shut down Justin Jefferson, which they highly won't, they more than likely are not going to be able to. That's the only way the Eagles could pull it out. I want the Eagles to win, though. I'm gonna. That's the only one. I just want to go against you guys. I'm gonna pick the Eagles. That's gonna be the biggest upset that I'm gonna have on this panel.
either going to
this
be
week.
really good or really bad for him in the end. But
The Eagles are
Correct.
favored. I mean,
yeah, they're favored by 2.5. Who do you think? Do you think they cover? Do you think over hits, over, under?
Is that just
I'm gonna
a
give
cover?
them 3.
Oh, okay.
You
I'm gonna
say
give the Eagles a win by 3 or more.
Eagles win by 3, so you have them covering.
Correct.
All right. Well, there we go. There we got
I just want them to win.
Tony differs than everybody here between Minnesota and the Eagles, but we'll see how our picks work out for next week. We'll keep track of them as the weeks go.
yeah. Make sure you guys mark your picks in your
Yeah.
websites and everything, and we'll come back to them next week.
Yep.
I have them
With our
written
records.
down.
We had about nobody in the chat today, so Edward wasn't
There's
here.
people here. They're just not chatting too much.
Yeah,
It's
they
all
don't want
good.
to talk to us. It's all right.
Little lurkers. Josh,
All
we
right.
appreciate you. Everybody that is watching, we appreciate the hell out of you as well. There have been people cycling in and out. I've been keeping an
Yeah.
eye on it. So
About a 3-hour stream today, guys. So
Yeah, I was about to say,
you're
it was
pretty
a much
good there. I
longer
mean,
stream this time.
yeah. I mean, this last segment only lasted about an hour, so everything else was pretty good. But it's a good long stream. We got some content to post. But
Yeah.
if you guys have any questions, we'll probably be on here for the next 2 minutes. You guys want to say anything in the chat? Go ahead and say it. We'll be here.
Tony, Steven, anything? I have
Yeah,
something
just-
to say, but I'll let you guys go first.
Just follow us on social medias, Twitter. Our TikTok is starting to blow up now. Casey, you're at 190,000 now.
Holy crap! I'm breaking 200K on my
Yeah.
predictions video. It's mainly
We
Seahawks
broke
fans, man.
We broke 1,000 followers today, and now we're at 1,300 followers.
Oh, that's awesome.
On TikTok. So definitely follow us on TikTok. You'll see some behind the scenes action there too. You'll see our trip to Houston to do the Colts game. On there, you'll see John being excited and really sad at the same time. So
Steven's cutting in and out.
Casey's reactions too.
You're good. You're good.
You're good now.
It's-
Okay.
okay.
You can say that all again because nothing came through.
I said follow us on TikTok. You'll see stuff from behind the scenes on there, like our trip to Houston. You'll see John's really happy face, really sad face. Casey's also, and our Twitter is probably our most active social on there. And then of course, live stream every Tuesday.
I will say, Janeth has jumped into the chat. Daniel, I'll
Fuck
let
the
you.
Eagles.
You want to read that? Read it
You
out
can
loud.
hear that throughout the house.
What-
Fuck them.
What does it say? What does that say?
Nope. Not gonna say it.
Janeth is his girlfriend. She said go Eagles to Daniel, who is a Cowboys fan. So
Fuck
you
them.
guys couldn't tell by the stream today. But yeah, I'm going to reiterate what Steven said. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Audible Sports Podcast, at Audible Sports Podcast. Twitter is at Audible Sport Pod. There's no S because with the S it would have made it too long, so we couldn't do it. Here on our channel here, we'll be streaming every Tuesday, like Steven said. Tuesday, 7:30 Central Time is usually when we hit. And we take the content from here, post it everywhere else. We do some live content. We went to Houston last week. Got a whole ass video there. Pretty awesome. Showed you our reactions throughout the game. Tony, you have anything to add?
And we're good.
Daniel,
Good.
Daniel, you got anything to add?
I just want to reiterate one more time everything that you guys just went over. Like, we really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given us thus far. It's just, we started doing this because we wanted to have fun with it, and we are having a blast with it.
It's starting to blow up, though,
Personally,
and I love
didn't
that.
expect this much support this quick, honestly. It's been crazy. Our TikTok blew up last week for the first time
60.
with my prediction video. And we gained like 250 followers from that. And then Casey posted a video yesterday and it's gained us like 850 followers. So make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials. We're going to keep this going for the foreseeable future. I don't see an end to this ever. So
yeah, me neither.
It's only week 1, baby.
Yeah, it's week 2.
Well,
it's like week 6 of our podcast. So, either way.
Also, I'm gonna do something real quick for Twitter here.
Go ahead.
Everybody following us on Twitter, go ahead and look at our pinned tweet. If you are a Colts fan, we are giving away tickets to the Colts-Jaguars game in Indianapolis. The tickets will be given away on September 27th on the live stream, about 2 weeks from now. So if you would like to enter the contest, please read the pinned tweet and follow those directions. All you have to do is retweet the tweet and follow us here on our YouTube channel. We hope to get everything going there, and if you guys want to go to the game, enter to win. You could definitely be the winner. So we're going to pick the live winner on September 27th. So go Colts. That's all I got there.
Boo.
350 followers on Twitter too. I mean, we're doing well.
Yeah, we got a lot of followers on Twitter and a lot of people interacting too. So it's pretty nice.
Not stopping. So
but
make sure you guys are following us on everything.
Anything else for you guys to add?
I was going to say something about the TikTok, but I forgot about it already. So that's okay. I'll remember.
Chad, I'll give you one more minute. Anything to add? You can go in there. Janeth, if you want to jump back in there again, go for it. But hopefully Daniel remembers the TikTok thing here. What'd you say, Steven?
I said, nope, ending the stream now.
Just turn it off. All right. Well, Daniel's processing over there.
No, I'm good. I'm not going to figure it out. It's okay. I'm tired.
All right. Well, we appreciate every single one of you for watching. This is the Audible Sports Podcast. For Daniel, Steven, and Tony, my name is Casey. We will see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye. Go Cowboys.
Bye.